There
Yay,
I am.
there he is. Right, look at
Welcome to Backchannel, and this is Backchannel, and welcome to Backchannel. It's 9 o'clock here on the West Coast, and it's 12 o'clock Eastern, and I'm Anthony Davis. It's the Anthony Davis Show. You have me for a couple of hours as we talk about some of the stuff that's happening across the world, but more importantly, across the United Kingdom of England. Thank you for joining in. If you're around and you want to spend your time with us, then you know where to go. Just jump on, and you can message me in the usual way. This is the only place, as you know, on your Echo device where you can watch and listen to live shows and chat with hosts in real time. And I'm here Monday through Friday from 9 o'clock, usually. And you can get involved by sending a chat. You can ask questions. You can chime in on what we're talking about or anything else you would like to send our way. If you can see me and you're watching on an Echo show or Fire TV, the magic word is say. So wake it up, say, and then your message. And if you're listening on an Echo speaker and you can't see me, then go to backchannel.tv and click on Join the Chat. That's backchannel.tv and click Join the Chat. Lots of chat about today. I want to look at some of the most important stories of the morning. Hopefully you can join me for these. Oh, Stacey's joined in. Hi, Stacey. I am here today, Stacey, and the reason I'm here today is because I am not an American. So that's why I'm able to be here on this Memorial Day, which is kind of what it is. Let's take a look at this. We're going to look at policing. The U.S. Justice Department is going to investigate the police response to last week's mass shooting at the school in Uvalde. We'll look at cannabis laws in the USA and fun facts about Puerto Rico, the first country that Franklin Roosevelt visited. So we'll discuss those things. Oh, Stacey can't stay very long. Okay, well, just me then. Just me. That's fine. You go do whatever you have to do, but I'm very pleased that you popped in anyway to say hi. It's very helpful. We've also got the morning papers to look at as well, and if you live somewhere and you would like a local paper reviewed, then we can do that and take a look at what's happening in your area. A reminder of how you can chat. It's very easy. Whatever you want to say, you can ask questions, chime in on what we're talking about, or anything else you would like to send our way. If you can see me and you're watching on an Echo show or Fire TV, the magic word is say. Wake it up, say the word say, and then your message. And if you're listening on an Echo speaker and you can't see me, then go to backchannel.tv and click on Join the Chat. That's backchannel.tv and click Join the Chat. That's how it works. Okay, lots to look at this morning. Let's jump straight into the newspapers because there's lots of stories making the headlines, obviously, for Memorial Day especially. The Standard Times this morning, Biden visits memorial at Uvalde school. Yes, Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden offered comfort yesterday to a city gripped by grief and anger as they paid respects to a memorial. 19 students and 2 teachers slain during a mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. The visit to Uvalde was Biden's second trip in as many weeks to console a community in mourning after a staggering loss from a shooting. He traveled to Buffalo, New York on May 17 to meet with victims' families and condemn white supremacy after a shooter there, espousing the racist replacement theory, killed 10 black people at a supermarket. Outside Robb Elementary, the Biden stopped at a memorial of 21 crosses, one for each of those killed. And the First Lady added a bouquet of white flowers to a pile in front of the school sign. They viewed individual altars erected in memory of each student, and the First Lady touched the children's photos as the couple moved along the row. Photographs of the Rams punching a ticket, apparently. I'm not quite sure what that means. Carla, I think you have your microphone on. I think you're being broadcast. The sound of you typing is being broadcast into the back channel. No, seriously, I think it is. I think you're on air, like you're actually on air, which is great for me, but I can definitely hear you on the air. I can hear your stomach gurgling. Yeah, not just, yeah, it's strange. Not just in my talkback, but I can actually hear you on the air as well. It's maybe your computer microphone is picking it up. Interesting. But no, I would love you to stay on the air and then we could chat. We could make this like our inaugural... Yes, Yeah, you're definitely on air. Your whole computer is alive.
Why has this just happened now? That's so weird. After all this time.
I don't know, but I can still hear you on the air. After all this, we finally get Carla on the air, and it happens without her even realizing. Legislators praise abortion access in Mexico. It says a group of U.S. state legislators from Texas, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, North Carolina toured Mexico and said last week they are impressed by efforts to expand abortion access south of the border. The legislators visited the country's three largest cities, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey, to meet with activists and Mexican legislators. They praised the efforts of Mexican activists to guarantee access to women who want an abortion, even those from U.S. states like Texas. It's incredibly touching to see people opening their homes, opening their hearts, spending time and effort helping American women, Texas women predominantly for now, access care, said Texas State Representative Erin Zwiener. So there we go. It's interesting. Mexico is, you wouldn't have thought it, but Mexico compared to America is going to become far more progressive, in its own way. Okay, let's see what else we have. Actually, there's a very interesting story that popped up this morning. Did I mention to you that I'd got my daughter vaccinated for hepatitis? Because there's a hepatitis epidemic, potentially. There's about 200 cases. Anyway, it turns out they're now investigating, this is a bit of a side thing, it's very interesting. The FDA is now investigating a hepatitis A outbreak that could be linked to strawberries. Strawberries in the US and Canada. Fortunately, I never buy organic strawberries. This is the advantage, only in organic strawberries. The agency said the strawberries were sold under the Fresh Campo and Heb brands purchased between March the 5th and April 25th. The FDA is investigating 17 cases, 15 in California and one apiece in Minnesota and North Dakota. Canada's Public Health Agency has identified 10 cases along two provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan. Apparently they were sold at Trader Joe's, Kroger, Safeways, Aldi, Walmart and Heb, according to the FDA. This is very interesting. I mean, they're saying that all strawberries are safe. The grocery store chain said Sunday it had not received or sold organic strawberries from the supplier under investigation since April 16. That's the HEB store. I mean, I told you, this is why I'm definitely vindicated in my decision never to buy organic. Because it's those will be the hepatitis strawberries, Anyway, they're asking you to throw them away. If you've not been vaccinated against hepatitis A, you should throw them away. Don't eat them. It's interesting, though, isn't it? Because I specifically went and got my daughter vaccinated because I knew about this hepatitis outbreak. I said to the nurse who was administering it, I said, there's a hepatitis outbreak? She's like, never heard of it. Well, there you go. Strawberries. Strawberries. Who knew? It's very interesting that they've been able to identify it, that they've literally been able to identify it as in strawberries. This is my concern. I've lost Carla for some reason. I'm sure she'll be back in a second. So that's the standard times for Texas. Let's look at the San Antonio Express News. Stacey, to get this done for you before you go. It says Biden meets the grieving, and a photograph of Biden and Lady Biden visiting the memorial to the mass shooting victims at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. It says for the second time in as many weeks, President Joe Biden on Sunday assumed his role of consoler-in-chief, comforting the families of the 21 people who died in Tuesday's mass shooting at Robb Elementary School. Biden met with survivors and victims' loved ones at an event center in his small town situated about an hour and a half west of San Antonio. Hours before, the president stopped at the memorial site outside the school, wiping away a tear as he and First Lady Jill Biden left a bouquet of flowers at the row of white crosses bearing the names of 19 children and two teachers killed in the massacre. He also attended a noon mass at Sacred Heart Catholic Church, joining 600 people in their prayers for Uvalde. So, that's kind of what happened and how it all played out yesterday. I mean, it's very moving. Mass brings a message of hope. Priests offer words of condolence, support to parishioners. Father Kenneth Dakin, it said, temporarily came out of retirement to minister for his former parishioners at Sacred Heart Catholic Church during the first church service since Tuesday's mass shooting, when a gunman killed 19 children and 2 adults at the elementary school. Authorities' response to be reviewed by Fed, it said. The U.S. Justice Department said on Sunday it'll review the law enforcement response to the mass shooting in Uvalde at the request of its mayor, Don McLaughlin. The goal of the preview is to provide an independent account of law enforcement actions and responses that day, and to identify lessons learned and best practices to help first responders prepare for and respond to active shooter events, the department said in a statement. So, it's just so frustrating, isn't it? Because it turns out the more you read about it, it just turns out that the whole thing was just a balls up, from the very beginning. Nobody was in charge. Nobody knew what was going on. They'd only just had shooter training, these police officers, and the training says that whatever the case, you have to just go in and take down the shooter, whatever cost. But it just seems like the police were cowards. They didn't want to get shot. And this is another example of why these military-style weapons, these SR-70s or whatever they're called, they shouldn't be in the hands of the public, because they're military. They are actual military weapons. You're here on Backchannel. I'm Anthony Davis. If you would like to hit that subscribe button, then that would be very helpful. That will know let you know when we're going live, and we've got some plans coming up in the next few months for those of you who are subscribed. Another thing you can do, no matter where you're watching or listening, is by leaving a review. So go to backchannel.tv and click on Leave a Review. Your positive reviews will keep this show going, I should say. Okay, let's go back to those newspapers. We're still on the San Antonio Express News. It says, on the way to 100, vet got through D-Day and rose up in AF. Yes, this is Lieutenant William McBride, in charge of guiding a group of 18 bombers to their target. I just realized I haven't put my new light on. It's here. It's been here the whole time. There we go. Whew, that's better. Some serious brightness now. I'm so bright. It's better than getting an education. You just turn on a couple of extra lights and suddenly you're much brighter. It's not a great joke, I know. Appreciate that. Yes, William McBride was the navigator because he loved and was excellent at maths. Timing, always a big part of the job, was everything that day. Airstrikes along a 50-mile stretch of Normandy coastline had to finish before 6:30 a.m. on June 6, 1944, when landing craft full of Allied troops would arrive and the invasion and liberation of Europe from the Nazis would begin. We'd been looking forward to that day all the time we were in England, McBride recalled. It was probably that time the most important mission that we flew because we knew a lot of people were depending on us. So, he's blowing out the candles on his 100th birthday at the San Antonio Country Club. McBride was at one point the Air Force's number 2 commander. So there we are, and that's sweet. He's nearly 100 years of age. I was watching Ricky Gervais' new stand-up. Carla, have you seen Ricky Gervais' new stand-up? Do you know about it? It's very rude. It's very, very rude. I personally really enjoyed it. I don't really like Ricky Gervais generally, but I don't really care about anything anymore. Like all of my previous views are kind of going out the window as I experience this kind of collapse of civilization. So I'm like, I'll just watch Ricky Gervais. And there's a lot of criticism from LGBTQ plus organizations about this Netflix show, and they're saying it shouldn't be on and blah, blah, blah. And it's it's very, very clever, you know? It's very clever. Yes, of course, he completely addresses these kind of gender issues and pronouns issues, but he talks about it in a very clever comedic fashion. It's very interesting. But I was just sitting up. It was quite late when I put it on. I couldn't sleep. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm just sitting there on my own, giggling. You know, that's the great thing about living kind of when you have a relationship with just you and Netflix. You know, it's just your exclusive relationship with Netflix. Just sitting there giggling. But why did I bring this up? Oh yeah, he was talking about growing old, and he just really couldn't see the point of getting past 60 or 70. he couldn't see the point. Because he said that those last years between 80 and 100, or 70 and 80, or 80 and 90, he said they're the worst years. So the reason he wants to keep eating and keep drinking and enjoying himself is because he doesn't really want that period. And if the doctor turned around and said to him, you know, if you eat well, you'll live longer, but you'll live longer and you'll start again from the age of 20. He said, great, I would love to be 20 again. I just don't want to have that period between 80 and 90. So I'd rather just eat. And it was interesting and it made me laugh, but it did pose an interesting question. And that is that actually if we do eat well, and you'll know this, if you've dieted or you've had a kind of healthy detox or you've just change your diet for a month or two or stop drinking or whatever, you actually feel 20. You know, you do actually, physically you do regress. It's very interesting, in my opinion. So I really feel like we are, we really would benefit from taking doctors' advice on healthy eating, because that period between 70 and 90, it can be much easier if you are well and strong, fit, and you eat nutritious food. Saying that, I mean, I ate a pizza last night that I ordered, a New York style pizza, and it was literally 400 inches long. It was the biggest pizza I ever saw. The reason I had to buy the huge one was because to get the delivery, you needed to spend over $20. And the size that I wanted was $17.99. And so rather than add something for $2, which still wasn't going to make it up, I was like, well, I might as well just order the larger pizza for $21.99. Well, to say it was large was an understatement. This thing was literally the size of a planet when it arrived. And it was just me and my boy. We're having a boys' night in. He's 4, so he doesn't eat very much. He had 1 slice. I had 4 slices. And then he had a second slice kind of quite late because he'd had a few beers, you know. And he got the munchies. And before you know it, we'd literally polished the whole thing off. It was gigantic. Carla, I'm gonna send you a little picture of me and the pizza and Jack last night, and you'll see. You'll see quite what I'm dealing with. There you go, I've pinged it through to you. It was the biggest pizza. I don't think I've ever bought a pizza that's that big. I mean, I might have accidentally seen one in the window of a store once. But it was the biggest pizza you have ever seen. The photograph doesn't even do it justice. 1 slice was bigger than my child's head. Anyway, I'm very proud of him. We both got the meat sweats afterwards, even though it was a meat-free pizza. You know? It's just vast. There you go. You see? What do you think about that? Isn't that the biggest pizza you ever saw? I can't hear you. You're muted. Oh, there you are. You're back. I think that one was 22 inches. It was cheese and tomato. That's the only thing that they had, so I ate it. You know, I mean, I'm mostly vegan. I eat a little pork occasionally, a little bacon. Sometimes I have veal, a little bit of foie gras maybe, cheese, I like a little steak sandwich, but only from Subway. But otherwise, I'm vegan, completely vegan. Anyway, we had and they were going to charge like an extra $3 to put basil on top of it. So I have a plant, so I just picked some of my own basil and I redecorated it, and it was wonderful. But man, we were flat out afterwards. Like we were both passed out, completely passed out. That was quite the meal for two little people. Okay, let me go back to the newspapers. Enough of this pizza talk, because I'll start to get hungry, and I haven't really eaten enough today. All I've had is a bacon sandwich. Let's go to the Austin American Statesman. It's 9:24, by the way. This is Backchannel. I'm Anthony Davis. Just a reminder that you're here. If you want to message me and you can see me right now, you're on an Echo show, then you can just wake it up, say the word "say," and then your message. Brett's joined us. Hello, Brett. Welcome. Stacey says, I'm allergic to strawberries, Anthony. Something good. Yes, you won't get hepatitis. That's great. Stacey says it's great to hear Carla's voice. She has a beautiful voice. Carla used to read the news. I mean, she's like one of those proper voices. You hear people talk and you're like, this is a good voice. Carla's got one of those voices, especially when she's angry with me. Stacey says, I've heard about it. I don't like the way it sounds. I'm not sure what we're talking about now. Why do you think I take the time to do a 5-minute workout? Oh, I see. The 5-minute workout. She said, I always go for cheese and pepperoni pizza myself. Yum. I can't really eat pepperoni because it's got meat in it. But I do like a cheese and tomato pizza with a little basil on top. And my favorite thing with the pizza, which my boy discovered really for the first time, was the little small person's table that they put in the middle of the pizza. You know? You ever seen those things? It's like a little occasional table for a Barbie. And it sits in the middle of the pizza, and it prevents the pizza top of the box from sticking to the actual pizza. It's like a little 3-legged table, small enough for a little midgie to have a full meal at. And so that's like my favorite thing. You know, I like eating that thing. I mean, I like playing with that thing. Pure love, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's because we're passed out, because we've both got a carbohydrate. We committed carbicide together. That's why. He'd had 3 beers by then, so he was completely 3 beers, 2 slices of pizza. He was finished. You know, he was finished. But yeah, super cute. I can send you, there's a reverse picture to that one as well, which you'll like a lot. Okay, let's go to the... Have I done the Austin American? Oh yeah, I've done the Austin American Statesman. Let's move on a little bit here to the Miami Herald for Florida. They lead with Broward Mums Mission, combat the epidemic of veterans' suicides, is the headline on the Miami Herald. This is... John Lutz was 19 when he enlisted in the Marine Corps, and out of high school, aiming to do his part for his country in the aftermath of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, as he hoped he was deployed to the front lines in Iraq. His mother recalls the first time her son called her from the war zone. He was solemn as he told her what he had seen that day, a car bomb explosion. He said, "We were first to arrive at the scene." Yes, I mean, this is the thing about war, is that they used to call it shell shock. They call it PTSD now. It really is one of these things that it's very hard to describe, isn't it? But it's like no human needs to go through this, really. You know, no human needs to go through this. It's something that we really kind of underestimate the effect it has on humans. And I was thinking about those children that were in the classroom that didn't die. who had to see their classmates being executed. You know, what's that going to do to those children? And the tragedy is that there's no kind of healthcare service here. So effectively, there'll be health companies making money out of the recovery of these people that didn't get killed in this thing. I mean, this is the tragedy. City's anguish message to Biden: do something, it says. Biden sought on Sunday to comfort a city grieving the killings of 19 elementary school pupils and 2 teachers at the hands of a lone gunman. Faced with chance of do something as he departed a church service to meet privately with the families, Biden responded, "We will." The visit to Uvalde was Biden's second trip in as many weeks to console the community mourning a staggering loss after the shooting. Also, ex-guerrilla fighter leads in election in Colombia. Yes, this is Gustavo Petro, the former member of the guerrilla group M19. He won the largest number of votes in Colombia's presidential election and will go to a runoff against the former mayor, with both candidates promoting a message of radical change and dismantling the status quo. So yes, Colombia, there's a very interesting stories coming out of Colombia. Very interesting to me. So that's the Miami Herald. Let me just remind you that this is Backchannel. I'm Anthony Davis, and we're here every weekday, Monday through Friday, I'm here from 9 o'clock Pacific. There we go. If you can see me and you're watching on an Echo show or a Fire TV, the magic word is say. So wake her up, say the word say, and then your message. And if you're listening on an Echo speaker and you can't see me, simply go to backchannel.tv and click on Join the Chat. That's backchannel.tv. And click Join the Chat. There you go. That's your 9:30 tick. So the Stewart News next for Florida. Many who died of COVID rejected vaccines is the headline. It said it didn't have to be this way. Though COVID vaccines have been available across Florida for more than a year, the majority of the more than 74,000 people who have died statewide of the disease succumbed in the past 12 months. Most chose not to get the free shots. More than half of Florida fatalities came after June 1st, months after adults aged 18 or older could get the shots, figures from the CDC show. Nationwide, it was just the opposite. The majority of the 1 million plus deaths across the country came before March 1st, when shots were in shorter supply. At least 29,000 deaths in the state might have been prevented if everyone who could have got the shot did. A Brown University analysis published on May 13 showed. Florida had twice as many vaccine-preventable deaths as California, the most populous state and the second most in the nation, after Texas, the university researchers have discovered. I mean, this is the problem of having, this Republican conspiracy theory about shots doing the rounds. I don't say Republican, conservative conspiracy theories. You know, it's like, they're not true, obviously, they're just conspiracy theories. I've had 4 shots now, 4 Moderna shots, and I'm fine. I've never got COVID. I've been exposed to COVID a whole bunch of times, never got COVID. I feel like, this whole argument about the shots now, it's becoming very tiresome. And when you see that there were potentially 29,000 deaths that could have been prevented if people had been vaccinated, doesn't it not make you think? Does it not make you question the reality of this argument about shots? You know? Will Roe affect race for Rubio and Demings? It says, with all eyes on the Supreme Court's expected decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, Marco Rubio and Val Demings stand on opposite sides of the debate over abortion access. And that difference could not have been clearer during 2 recent events. On May 14, Democratic U.S. Representative Demings rallied for abortion access and blasted her opponent during a conference in Orlando for the abortion rights group Ruth's List. Let me be clear, a woman should have the right to choose, the Senate hopeful told a roaring crowd. Just a few hours later, at a venue nearby, GOP Senator Rubio spoke of his longtime anti-abortion beliefs at a dinner for the conservative Florida Family Policy Council. To me, he said, it's not about telling anybody what they can do, it's about telling us as a society what we value, said Rubio, who is seeking his third Senate term. Whether abortion will move the needle for either the leading U.S. Senate candidates on Election Day remains to be seen. I mean, it doesn't make any sense what he's saying, does it? He says it's not about telling anybody what they can do, it's about telling us as a society what we value. I mean, what does that mean? He's basically saying it's about telling society what to do. That's what he's saying. Not about telling individuals what to do, it's about telling society what to do. It is fascism. You know, vaccines were not mandated. They were mandated if you worked for the state, if you were a police officer or a civil servant. But they certainly weren't mandated generally because we don't live under a fascist regime. But what Marco Rubio is effectively doing is he is suggesting that the fascism is, it's subtle, isn't it? But he's effectively saying it's our rules. And no one is going to question him over this, are they? Because, politicians use the kind of language that is woolly. It doesn't really make any sense, it's just words. In the wake of the leaked Supreme Court opinion suggesting a majority of justices would overturn the landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade case, Democrats have rallied around abortion as an issue that could mobilize voters' support to support a party already beleaguered by inflation, rising gas prices, and Joe Biden's low approval ratings. Republicans have stayed largely mum, encouraging supporters to wait on a final decision and lambasting the leak first reported by Politico. Public opinion polls show Americans generally support abortion access, and that appears to hold true in Florida. I mean, this is why I've said a few times that Ron DeSantis might be making a mistake by pushing the anti-abortion stance on a state that really doesn't want that, Just assuming that everybody is like an evangelical Christian. I just think it's very short-sighted. Let's go to California now and the Enterprise record, how Top Gun Maverick nailed a Butte County flyby. Yes, the most popular movie in the country picked up some of its need for speed in Butte County. In 2019, Paramount Pictures reached out to Chief Operating Officer Alicia Rock at Northgate Aviation, to looking for people to work with and space for aircraft. Although she didn't know it at the time, she will be helping the production of the film Top Gun Maverick, which stars Tom Cruise, and continues the story of Pete Maverick Mitchell, originated in 1986 Top Gun. Sorry, this is an Alan Partridge reference that I'm enjoying in my head. The film hit most theaters across the United States on Friday, and the buzz hasn't stopped since. When I finally saw the contract and I saw it was Paramount Pictures, I thought to myself, wow, this is real, said Rock. Over the course of the next few weeks, members of the film crew were stationed at the 19,000 square foot hangar that is owned and operated by the Rock family. During their stay, the staff used a conference room that had 1,200 square foot whiteboard that they used to storyboard and sequence the shoots for the day. And although the team did not include any of the actors, it did consist of pilots who were going to be doing the flying for the shots. Our facility could accommodate both at a very competitive rate, so they decided to come stay with us, said Rock. One key selling point, put Northgate Aviation at an advantage, was how accommodating the Jet Center was with the team. During the team's stay, Rock was willing to change the locks of the doors to the conference room to give the crew confidential access. One thing that's really important, they said, for a family business is to remember that the crew is pretty big. It's going to be staying at local hotels and local businesses. So, of course, it was important for us to accommodate their needs because they directly impact our local economy. Some employees who went out to watch the film in theaters reported to have seen anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes of scenes that were shot in local spots in Butte County, such as near Lake Oroville. The blockbuster, which played to big crowds at Cinemark Chico 14 and XD all weekend, is expected to bring in more than $150 million by the end of Memorial Day weekend. according to Paramount, making it the biggest opening in Cruise's 41-year film career. Wow. Maybe I'll go see that. Maybe I'll go see it with my friend Tony, because he's big into that stuff, you know? So there we go. Are you planning on going to see Top Gun Maverick? Are you planning on checking it out, seeing what it's all about, getting the lowdown? You a fan of the Tom Cruise? Love Tom Cruise. Big fan, you know? Cannot get my head around the whole Scientology thing, but big fan of the acting. Stacey's got to go. Thank you. Faint Otter has joined us for the first time. Hello, Faint Otter. Welcome to Backchannel. Huge Crane has joined us as well. Nice to see you. It's 20 to 10 here on the West Coast. It's 20 to 20 to 1. 9, 10, 11, 12. 20 to 1 Eastern. And this is Backchannel. I'm Anthony Davis, and thank you for joining me. Great to see you. Okay, let's jump on to something else, shall we? I think have we done everything on the front of those papers? Let me see. I think we have. Oh no, there's a little bit more. One last day at the fair. Shows, exhibits ended on Sunday, but Silver Dollar Fair opened Monday. It says, although Sunday ended the weekend of shows and exhibits at the 2022 Silver Dollar Fair, people will have one last chance to experience the ride on Monday for the Food and Carnival ride at the fair. Uvalde tells Biden to do something, and he pledges we will. We've covered that story already. Carla, have you seen Top Gun yet? Are you going to go see Top Gun, Carla? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to go and see it at the cinema in London. I'm going to go to London in a couple of days, and I think I'll go and see it there because I have a favourite cinema. I used to actually hang out. One of my kind of hangout in London was at a little cinema. I literally spent all day there, and I very rarely went to see the movies, but I enjoyed their cafeteria. Love a cafeteria, me. You know, anywhere with a cafeteria where you can say, "Can I have one of those? One of those? Give me 2 of those. Give me 3 of those." That's like my favorite, experience. And I kind of feel like I'm going to go there and see the Top Gun, and I'll see if my friend Tony wants to come as well, because Tony's a good man, and I think he'll love it. I'll text him now. I'll say, "Wanna come see Top Gun with me in London next on Friday?" There you go. Let's see if Tony replies during this show. He'll be very surprised, because I don't think he knows that I'm coming to London. I've suggested Friday, because Friday's a great day. It's the Platinum Jubilee celebrations in London. London is going to be crazy. I mean, it's hard enough to get around. I'm going to have to cycle everywhere, aren't I? I'm going to have to take one of those bicycles. Do you ever take those rental bikes, or do you have your own bike, Carla? Yeah. Yeah, I had an old Trek mountain bike. I wonder where it is. I think it's still locked up in London. I think it's probably still tied up where I left it. Yeah. I bought it second hand for like £70. And right. I had a Trek hybrid. I have no idea what happened to that bike. I think when I left England, I just left it tied to the front of the house. I think I just completely forgot about the fact that I had a bike. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's probably still tied up in Victoria. The problem is they take them away now, don't they? If a bike is left too long, then they just take them away. And they I don't know what they do. They get rid of them. Yeah, hybrids are expensive. No, I paid £70 for it. I got it from Cash Converters. It was probably stolen in the first place. Yeah. Yeah, I got it from Cash Converters for £70. And it was a lovely bike. I don't think it was thousands. I think it probably would have cost about 700 new. But it was a nice bike. But the reason I'm asking is because I'm thinking I'm going to have to now go and use those rental bikes in London. And I wondered if they've made it easier to rent them, or whether you have to go through a whole palaver, because it used to be a whole palaver to rent one of those bikes. Have they made it easier? Can you just tap your credit card and just pull the thing out of the thing? I mean, that would be ideal, wouldn't it? Yeah, I love the fact that some people choose to take full ownership of these bikes. I have to say, those rental bikes are horrible to ride. They're so heavy. And, you really... I mean, I can see why they need to be heavy, because they want them to last a long time, And the heavier they are, the less likely they are to get damaged and all this kind of stuff. And also the less likely people are to steal them, because they're so damn heavy. But in terms of, getting some speed up and riding, like standing up and riding, not so easy. You need a nimble little BMX for that. So I guess I'm just going to have to cycle around London. Wonder what happened to my cycle helmet? Was that left with the bike? Did I leave my cycle helmet with the bike? I think I did. I think I left it tied to the bike. It's so funny. I'm such an idiot. I should look on Google Street View and see if the bike is still there. Just never occurred to me. I had so many things to think about, relocating, that I was like, I just completely forgot that I owned a bicycle. The crazy thing is, I've sold my house, and in my mind, I still own it. So I keep thinking I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to be there. It's very interesting. It's like you get a new life, and then you have to have a whole new perspective on that life, and the whole thing's interesting. It's interesting to me anyway. I hope it's interesting to you. This is Backchannel. I'm Anthony Davis. I'm here Monday to Friday between 9 o'clock and 11. That's 12 and 2 Eastern. If you can see me right now and you're watching on an Echo Show or Fire TV, the magic word is say. Wake her up, say, and then your message. If you're listening on an Echo speaker and you can't see me, go to backchannel.tv and click on Join the Chat. That's backchannel.tv and click on Join the Chat. Okay, that was the Enterprise record. Let's see what's next. Oh, the Immersed Sun. What is Immersed Sun? Is it a Immersed Sun? They lead with Youth Sports Complex could be renamed to honor Mr. Baseball. Merced. That's what it is, Merced. It's a place, Merced. I mean, what can I tell you? I'm not fully equipped. I'm a very narrowly equipped person. Yosemite to take mobile homes after forcing homeowners out, it says. Lynn Harbin is having a hard time adjusting to her new life in a small rented dorm room in Yosemite Valley. She moved there a couple of months ago after Yosemite National Park told her and around a dozen other homeowners in rural El Portal, located just outside Yosemite's west entrance, that they could no longer live in their homes. No compensation was given for having to leave the El Portal trailer park, where Harbin lived for nearly 4 decades, 34 years in the current home she owns. After Yosemite terminated housing agreements in March for the land she leased beneath her home, Harbin and her neighbors were no longer allowed to live there, but were granted extensions to continue removing their personal belongings. They were told the final deadline is June 30, when they must remove or surrender their homes. I mean, how can you do that without compensating people? It doesn't make sense. Why is the National Park Service trying to move people out of their homes? Are they saying the home shouldn't have been there in the first place? I mean, it might be a trailer park, but these homes are like these semi-permanent homes. They have foundations. They're not on wheels. Justice Department to review response to Texas school shooting. Yes, I'm very pleased they're doing this. I'm very pleased they're doing this. because really the officers and the commanding officer could be done for manslaughter, couldn't they, if you think about it? You know, these are officers that didn't do their jobs, they didn't engage, they were given false information, and I wouldn't be surprised if the commanding officer ends up behind bars over this, or indeed, you know, ends up as a suicide victim. Think about it. And you know that the people that eventually went in and killed the shooter, you know that they did that off their own back without taking orders. They were just like, screw this, we're going in. Well, the police were in there straight away, but they were hanging around in the corridor, and he was shooting inside the classroom with the door locked. And so, because, you know, the only window was the one in the door, it wasn't easy for them to look in, I presume. But they just assumed that he had barricaded himself into like another room inside that room. But that was false information. And so the commander of this basically told them to hang back, which is against the rules. You know, the training says that if there's an active shooter going on, you go in and you engage the shooter. That's the rules, and it's the same across the country. And yet they didn't. 19 children got killed in there, and parents were outside saying, why isn't anyone doing anything? Why isn't anyone doing anything? And then eventually, when the border police showed up, you know, the border police, they were like, what is going on? Who's in charge? And they were like, screw this, we're just going in. And they went in and shot him. So it took the initiative of a different police department to come in and deal with it, because the Uvalde police failed. They failed. Now, I have all sorts of theories about this, which I probably won't share because I'm not a conspiracist, but I fear that, you know, there are, I don't know. I just know that police training is done on an individual basis for each police department. There's no consistent police training across the country, even across the state. It's all random. And so you cannot expect consistency from the police. And then the commander wasn't even there. You know? Wasn't even there. People are going to face a serious, you know, I mean, the Justice Department will probably deal with this. The Los Angeles Times leads with an uphill bid for mayor is nothing new to De Leon. Yes, as leader of the state Senate, Kevin De Leon was one of the most powerful politicians in California. His future seemed wide open. Pundits speculated, would he run for governor, lieutenant governor, Los Angeles mayor? But his political star came crashing down after he challenged Dianne Feinstein for her U.S. Senate seat in 2018, promising to be a tougher on Donald Trump than she was. The internecine battle, which Feinstein handily won, divided the state's Democrats and left some angry at what they saw was De Leon's hubris for trying to usurp a political grand dame. De Leon regrouped, eventually winning a seat on the Los Angeles City Council. I mean, Dianne Feinstein, she just needs to leave. I mean, she's 116 years of age. You know, there needs to be change. And people who've been doing that job for years, they do not bring about change. In fact, quite the opposite. They stifle change. As one of 15 council members, his influence is as much diminished from his days as a top player in Sacramento about a week before the June 7 primary. His bid to lead the city has failed to gain much traction. And as the only major Latino candidate for mayor in a city that's nearly 50% Latino, he is trailing far behind Representative Karen Bass and billionaire Rick Caruso in most polls. Yeah, I don't think Rick Caruso is a good idea for California. I mean, the guy's a billionaire. You know, he's been taking every single commercial break on any TV advertising in America right now, in California right now, is for Rick Caruso. This guy is so rich, he's paid for ads everywhere. You know? A recent poll by Bass's campaign showed her at 34%, Caruso at 32%, with De Leon at 7%, about 17% of likely voters undecided. But De Leon has been never one to give up without a fight, it says. As in his other campaigns, he's leaned heavily on his personal story, hoping that voters will relate to someone who has struggled as they have. I'm for Karen Bass, I think, on this particular race. Just lay my cards on the table there. I think Karen Bass might be the man for me. From the ashes, a stronger resolve is the headline. It says to descend the grade of State Highway 89 into the rubble of Greenville is to trace the steps of a community's trauma. It was here the second largest wildfire in California history and the first to burn from one side of the Sierra Nevada to the other, decimated the town of about 1,000 people. Hillsides, once thick with trees, are now blackened and splattered with bright blue-green hydro-mulch to fight erosion. The town centre is a grid of bare lots and debris piles. But while most people would see devastation, Sue Weber sees hope and opportunity. Weber, a former nun in Mother Teresa's order, is part of an unprecedented effort not only to build Greenville, but also to build it better, and build it back better, to coin a phrase, than it was before. So yes, Greenville, destroyed by the Dixie Fire. I watched the new Star Wars thing on Disney Plus, the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. I thought it was rather good, I'll be honest. Thought it was rather good. I think Ewan McGregor is getting better and better all the time as an actor, as he gets older. But one thing that I found really annoying, and maybe you experienced this too, was the little girl playing Princess Leia, who was so annoying, not a great actress, very frustrating to me. And there was a scene where she's running and they're chasing her, and like 3 adult alien people are chasing her, and they're making it look like she's running faster than they are, and it's ridiculous. In fact, she's obviously not running faster than they are. They are purposely going slow, and it was ridiculous. Must have been embarrassing for the actors to try and have to not catch up with someone, to be directed that you're chasing her but you can't catch her. She's like 7 years old. It's jokes. I find it very frustrating, I just think if you're doing a scene where you're running, you should be running really fast. Do you know what I mean by that? Like if you're people that run a bit slowly in movies or TV shows, makes it look like it's not real. Like, run as fast as you can run. Like Tom Cruise does. Tom Cruise is the king of running in movies. He's king runner. I saw a woman posted some footage of Tom Cruise at the premiere for Top Gun. I think it was in London, actually. I don't know if you saw it, but she was filming him on her phone, and the quality was very good, because, the phones are so good now. I sound like a really old person when I say that. Oh, the phones now, they're very good. And it was so weird seeing a movie star shot on a regular phone rather than through the lens of a television camera or a movie camera, don't you think? And his skin, the whole presentation of this guy was he looked incredible. How does Tom Cruise look so incredible? He probably doesn't eat. I really think this is a very big part of looking great, is not eating. I polished off nearly 400 inches of pizza last night. I am never going to look like Tom Cruise, and I need to do more work in that department. I need to eat like a bird, because currently I'm, even tigers. Look how big and strong they are, and they just eat lean, raw meat, That's all they eat. They don't even eat grass. Can't eat strawberries now, you get hepatitis. Very limiting. Maybe I'll just go on the ice cream diet, where you just eat ice cream. I wonder if one would actually lose weight. Also on the front of the Los Angeles Times, thrills, chills at bottom of ballot, it says. Governor Gavin Newsom has barely bothered to campaign for re-election ahead of the June 7 primary. U.S. Senator Alex Padilla, who Newsom appointed less than 2 years ago, is expected to breezed through despite never being elected to his post. With the lack of suspense in California's marquee races, the greatest challenge facing voters must be rousing themselves enough to cast ballots to decide other contests that could sway the balance of power in Congress and the future of state criminal justice policies. After Newsom beat back a recall, the gubernatorial election seems like an afterthought, said Republican political consultant Kevin Spillane. There's a couple of very interesting down-ballot statewide races, but in general, from a statewide perspective, there's not a lot of voters to get excited about, or not a lot for voters to get excited about. Spillane said before early in-person voting began on Saturday in much of the state, there are individual interesting races. They're probably the most interesting political insiders than the average voter. Probably most interesting to political insiders than the average voter. There we go. I got there in the end. So sorry about that. I've lost the ability to read. Lots have changed with me. I think I had a conversation with somebody yesterday about the end of civilization, and it's really affected me in many ways, you know? I'm not that I'm giving up, but like I really feel like we're in a pretty shocking state, you know? He was telling me about, reinvestment, because you know that governments have to reinvest in society, and you do it on a per capita basis. And apparently the reinvestment rate to maintain a civilized society should be 50%. That's how much the government should be reinvesting in things. Houses and roads and schools and hospitals, that's the reinvestment rate. And apparently in America, the reinvestment rate is nearer 25%. And this is the problem. Should we do the US news update now? That'll be a good idea, because it is 10 o'clock Pacific, and that's the time that we usually do these things. So, give me a couple of minutes just to gather my thoughts, and then I'll come back and we'll talk some more. This is a podcast that I do every day. You can download it wherever you get yours. Here it is. It's Monday 30. From the Volley Network, this is your daily US news. I'm Anthony Davis. President Joe Biden tried to comfort families in the South Texas town of Uvalde on Sunday after the nation's deadliest school shooting in a decade, as federal officials announced they would review local law enforcement's slow response to the attack. Anger has mounted over the decision by law enforcement agencies in Uvalde to allow the shooter to remain in a classroom for nearly an hour while officers waited in the hallway and children inside the room made panicked 911 calls for help. The President and First Lady Jill Biden wiped away tears as they visited memorials at the Robb Elementary School, where the gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers, laying white roses and paying respects to makeshift shrines to the victims. "Do something," a crowd chanted outside Sacred Heart Catholic Church as he exited after attending Mass. "We will," he answered. The Bidens met privately with victims' families and survivors for several hours before later meeting behind closed with first responders. "We grieve with you, we pray with you, we stand with you, and we're committed to turning this pain into action," Biden tweeted in the early evening before concluding his visit. Police say the gunman, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, entered the school on Tuesday with an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle after earlier shooting his grandmother, who survived. The Texas visit was Biden's third presidential trip to a mass shooting site, including an excursion earlier this month to Buffalo, New York, where a gunman had killed 10 black people at a grocery store. Your daily US news update is part of the Volley Network. To hear my live daily morning show, ask your Amazon Echo device to open Backchannel. There it is, the US News Update. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Just realised the light is very bright on my head, so I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because I have the facility to do that. Is that getting darker? No, that's changing colour. Oh yeah, I've completely nailed it. So I basically have 2 large lamps now, and they're both pointing up, reflecting there's like a white section of the ceiling, and so the white section of the ceiling is doing all of that. So yeah, it's kind of clever, isn't it? So without the light, it's like that. With the light, it's like that. Without the light, it's like that. With the light, it's like that. It's just a little bit of fill. I might brighten it up a little bit, just a little bit. Hang on. There we go. There's still this like patch of whiteout, really, isn't there? I don't know how you deal with that. But I'm thinking of getting rid of the blue. I'm thinking of changing the blue to the black. Some friends of mine said to me yesterday it would be a good idea to get rid of the blue. Off the back of doing talk TV, I really feel like it would be maybe better. I like it because it gives perspective, and it makes it look like I'm in a box within a box within a box, living in a box. What's your thoughts, Carla? Should we lose the blue? I could do it now. I've got some spray. I like the blue too. Yeah, I know what you mean, and it creates layers, but yeah. I don't know, it's hard to say. It should be neutral, you see. This is the problem, and it's currently not neutral. Because if you go on somebody else's TV channel and they've got color schemes, then the blue is obviously going to clash. Whereas if you stick with the grey, wherever it is, yeah. I'm trying different things now. Look, there's a blurry back. I mean, we could have a lot of fun with this, Yeah, it's true. It's no good. I think I've perfected it too. What about this? What about this nice big recording studio? I could just turn around and play with that computer over there. I know. Yeah. Let's see. Where have I gone? Am I still there? No, there we go. It's very confusing. I'm back. A view of the beach. What? I mean, that doesn't really give you a choice of things that you can have here. It doesn't really give you a choice. No. I mean, I'm only going on what they give you. Oh look, there's a brick wall. It doesn't really work at all, does it? I have to move that out of the way because otherwise it ruins it. This is ridiculous. Look at me, it's ridiculous. Yeah, well, this is my real house. So. Yeah, it's not really my real house. Anyway, it's nice to be back here. It's nice to be back in the reality. Back in the reality. Tony's written back about going to see Top Gun. Let's see what he says. Because, I was hoping that he might want to be my companion. He says, I saw it yesterday. Sequel as good or better than first. Most unusual. Impressive, brilliant shots and well scripted. He says, my son is a former jet pilot and thought it was pretty faithful to reality. Some good one-liners. So there we are. Tony's 75. And Tony and I used to go flying together because he's a pilot and I'm a pilot. He had a shared ownership of an aircraft before he dinged it. And so we used to go flying together. And so that's why I thought he'd be a good person to go and see the Top Gun with, I don't really like military planes, though. Fighter jets really do nothing for me. I like a regular kind of passenger jet. And did I tell you that I'm very excited that the aeroplane that I'm traveling on Wednesday is a plane I've never been on before. Now, most people don't even know what plane they're on. Don't have a clue. They're not interested. They have no interest. For me, it really matters. And I'm so excited about this. And I'm slightly worried that, sometimes because of technical reasons, they switch the plane at the last minute, and I'm praying that they don't switch it out on me. Because I'm a big fan of that plane. Anyway, it's called an Airbus A350-1000. I know you're not interested. But I have been reading about this aeroplane and looking at it at air shows for the last 10 years. And I finally get to go on one. 10 years later, that's kind of how long it takes for a new aeroplane to kind of permeate through the industry so that, all passengers have been on one. But I'm very excited about it. It's a big deal for me, Because you're either an Airbus person or you're a Boeing person. I find the Americans tend to side with Boeing because obviously it's an American brand. And the Europeans tend to side with Airbus because obviously it's a European brand. And I think that this is something that we kind of forget, that there genuinely is a kind of rivalry between these two companies, So I'll give you a full trip report and let you know. Maybe I could do Backchannel from the sky. It has the Wi-Fi. There's only so much you can do from the sky, but normally they only have enough Wi-Fi so that you can send a text. If you're lucky, a photograph of the delicious food that you're being served. I really look forward to airplane food. I really do. But I have to tell you, on this flight that I'm taking, I'm going to eat before I go. Because you see, the advice, if you're doing a night flight, this is a night flight, you really want to get a good night's sleep, don't you? That's the plan. And so the secret is to just go to sleep and not eat the food. But it's hard. It depends where I sit, I haven't decided where I'm going to sit yet. I've already booked a seat, but it's right at the back. But I like to get on last and just see which seats are empty and then sit in a better seat. I'm sure most people do that, don't they? Why are people so desperate to get on first? Why do they do this thing of so desperate to get on first? Yeah, well, you see, this is why it's good to know which plane you're on, because if you choose a plane that's got a lot of space in the overhead bin, that not all planes are made the same, right? And so some planes have huge overhead bins, and others have very small overhead bins. And that's really why, if you know what plane you're on, then you don't have to rush to get on, to get some space. It's exciting to me anyway. The whole thing's kind of exciting. I feel a great sense of wonder associated with these things. I do remember the days of everyone having to watch the movie from one television at the end of the row. That was kind of fun. But no, I think that they should. I think there's a happy medium. I think that they could have an in-flight entertainment system that says this movie is starting. You watch it on the back of your, the seat in front of you. But they should have certain start times so that if it's a comedy, everyone on the plane laughs at the same time. That's what I miss. And that the reason that we cry at movies on the plane so much is because of the altitude. With less oxygen and at a higher altitude, your emotions are more extreme. So that's why you cry so much, And that's just during the, it's just during the fun movies, Well, yeah, if they start the movies at random times, then, I think then if someone needs to go and use the bathroom, they have to miss some of the film as well, I'm just planning on how I'm going to do this headphones thing, because the one thing I hate is having to plug in and then forget that you're plugged in. So when you go up to the bathroom, you end up like, ah! So I bought for like $10 a little Bluetooth transmitter that I can plug into the system, and it will enable me to be able to Bluetooth to my AirPods. Isn't that genius? I mean, some of the newer planes now have Bluetooth in every seat. Did you know that? I agree. Too much Bluetooth does seem like there's going to be a whole lot of frequencies floating around, but I think they're already there, to be honest, you know? They're already there. But some of the newer planes are putting Bluetooth in every seat, so you can effectively Bluetooth your own wireless headphones to your personal in-flight entertainment screen. Isn't that clever? So that you don't have to have wires. So this little dongle that I bought will be a waste of money, more Chinese garbage that I really didn't need to buy. There's something very attractive about buying something for around $10. You know, a little electronic contraption. It's very interesting to me. I really like the idea of it. Let's have a look at some of your messages. Thank you very much for being in touch. You know, very busy. Ayla's with us. Deafening Rats here. Huge Crane. Tangible Camel. Dizzy Cougar. Faint Otter. Appreciate you joining in. Welcome. If you want to message me, you can wake up your device, say the word "say," and then your message. If you can't see me because you're on an Echo speaker, then just go to backchannel.tv and you can message me there. That's backchannel.tv and you can message me right there and we can chat. Whatever you want to say. Open house today. Open house. Okay, we were looking at the... what newspaper were we on just then? Well, we were on the LA Times. We done everything there? Yeah, I think we have. All right, let's remind you that Backchannel has a growing list of shows, including Haley and Alison's Good Morning. You can start from 3 a.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, with 2 hours of silly fun and games. Haley and Alison and producer Will have trivia, as well as the answers to your burning questions and the news you might have missed. They're followed by Live Every Day with Liv Harrison from 5 o'clock. That's 8 o'clock Eastern. Join Liv every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning to celebrate the little things in life in an extraordinary way. Candid conversations, lots of laughs, plenty of coffee will fuel you and encourage you to live every day. And on air just before me is Get On Up with Jam and Renee. Wake up on the West Coast with community and conscious living. Jam and Renee have it all covered, from what people think to who's wearing what. You'll leave entertained and enlightened every day, and you'll learn how to pay it all forward. 16 after 10, this is Backchannel. The New York Times this morning leads with, in familiar ritual of pain, Biden comforts bereaved. He travels to site of school shooting, hearing a plea, do something. It says, for the second time in less than 2 weeks, President Biden on Sunday touched down in an American community consumed by grief, embracing survivors, laying bouquet and consoling families of victims of another mass shooting. Outside Robb Elementary School, where 19 children and 2 teachers were gunned down last week, Mr. Biden and the First Lady Jill stopped by in front of life-size photos of the victims, placing their hands on the photos and reading their names. As Mr. Biden wiped away a tear, some spectators let it be known that in addition to empathy, they expected action. It's the most tragic thing, and if you have children, you'll know, you know? It's like it is... there is nothing worse than being an adult with a child and your child dying before you. Right? There is literally nothing worse. Three men lost in 20 Bruckner Boulevard. Lost 220 Bruckner Boulevard, it said. 2 laborers board an elevator at the top of a 5-story building under a renovation in the Bronx. They wear construction helmets, reflective vests and face masks, none of which will do them any good. It says the older man, a supervisor, rarely talks about anything beyond what needs to be done at this work site at 20 Bruckner Boulevard, but he and his younger co-worker have become friends through a morning ritual. One buys the coffee and the other the donuts. The job at hand is to take 2 waist-high containers of construction debris down to the ground. The doors are closed and a button is pushed. The elevator shudders, then drops. The floor seems to vanish between the men's work boots. They scream as they plummet, a crash, then stillness, save for clouds of disturbed dust. Yes, that's what happened May 19 last year. An old building being transformed into a charter school. It distinguished itself from 40,000 other major construction projects in New York City, having had its 3rd worker fatality in less than 3 years. I mean, how is this even happening? It just doesn't make sense. I remember this, I'm into ships as well as aeroplanes, and one of my favorite ships was being built in 2003. And it was a beautiful ship, still is a beautiful ship. And they, on the final day when they'd finished building it, and they invited the families of the construction workers onto this ship in France where it was being built. The gangplank that was, brought these people onto the ship collapsed, and I think 5 people died. And that really stayed with me, because I feel like when you invite strangers into a construction space to celebrate something, and then you don't keep them safe, I mean, that is like one of the worst things, right? There's talk of if photos of the bodies of these children might change people's views. It says after Lenny Posner's 6-year-old son Noah died at Sandy Hook, the father briefly contemplated showing the world the damage an AR-15 style rifle did to his child. At first he thought it would move some people, change some minds. His second "Not My Kid." Grief and anger over 2 horrific mass shootings in Texas and New York only 10 days apart have stirred an old debate. Would disseminating graphic images of the results of gun violence jolt the nation's gridlocked leadership into action? From the abolition movement to Black Lives Matter, from the Holocaust to the Vietnam War, to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, photographs and film have laid bare the human toll of racism, authoritarianism, and ruinous foreign policy. They prompt public outcry and sometimes lead to change. It's very interesting, I really feel that we are... It's a little bit like when they put, the images of cancerous lungs on cigarette packets. Did they do that in America? They certainly did it in Europe to stop people smoking. I think it worked, though. I think it briefly worked, and they showed photographs of dead people. They had literally photos of corpses on cigarette packets. It's kind of clever, right? Yes, not having cigarettes on show in stores. That was a very clever way of reducing people's, it's that whole point of sale thing, isn't it? Temptation. If you see it on the shelf, I'm like that with a Twix, to be honest. I can't walk past a Twix without having to buy one. Whereas if I don't see a Twix, I don't think about a Twix. It's as simple as that, And NATO seeks a united front. Turkey disrupts, it says, also on the front of the New York Times, when President Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey threatened this month to block NATO membership for Finland and Sweden. Western officials are exasperated but not shocked. With an alliance that operates by consensus, the Turkish strongman has come to be seen as something of a stick-up artist. In 2009, he blocked the appointment of a new NATO chief from Denmark, complaining the country was too tolerant of cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad and too sympathetic to Kurdish terrorists based in Turkey. took hours of cajoling by Western leaders and a face-to-face promise from President Barack Obama that NATO would appoint a Turk to a leadership position to satisfy Mr. Erdogan. After a rupture in relations between Turkey and Israel the next year, Mr. Erdogan prevented the alliance from working with the Jewish state for 6 years. A few years later, Mr. Erdogan delayed for months a NATO plan to fortify Eastern European countries. Continues on page 5. Well, he's a bad man, isn't he? Erdogan, you know, he's one of these kind of totalitarians. Another one. It's an increasing number of them in the US, around the world, and an increasing number in the US, you know. Also on the Middleton Press now, Biden mourns Uvalde victims. Where the state's congressional candidates stand on gun control, it says as they did 4 years ago following the deadly massacre in a Pittsburgh synagogue, and again the next year, and even deadlier shooting at a Walmart in El Paso, and again last year when a gunman stormed through a Michigan high school, and yet again last week following a back-to-back mass shootings in Buffalo and California. Members of Connecticut's congressional delegates this week begged their colleagues in Washington to take up long-stalled efforts to pass stricter controls on the possession of firearms. Their pleas are a reaction to the latest slaughter in Texas, which cost 19 children and 2 adults their lives, were joined this time by at least a few Republican candidates. Well, they're going to need at least 10 Republican candidates, you know? They need 60 votes for anything, don't they? With the filibuster. I mean, I actually tweeted saying that if this school shooting was not reason enough to abolish the filibuster, I don't know what is. But you still need the votes to abolish the filibuster. And that's the reason why they haven't done it. And also the fact that Joe Biden doesn't seem to be somebody who really cares for it. I mean, his obsession with playing by these rules is the reason why nothing's going to get done. Connecticut summer likely to be hotter than average. I wonder if they mention climate change. It says, considering the recent trends of abnormally hot summers, Connecticut and the rest of New England is likely to experience above average temperatures over the next 3 months, meteorologists say. The National Summer Forecast released last week by the Climate Prediction Center, a branch of the National Weather Service, gave at least a 50% chance of a hotter than normal temperature this summer for a broad area of the East Coast stretching from North Carolina to Maine. I think it's going to be warm, dry, tranquil, a good summer for outdoor activities and beach weather, said Gary Lesser, chief meteorologist at the Connecticut Weather Center. I mean, Gary, what are you doing saying it's going to be a good summer? What do you feel like if you don't tell the truth that you're going to lose your job or something? That shouldn't be the top line. The top line is that we're all burning to death. That's the top line. Lesser said his predictions were based on weakening effects of this winter's La Nina, differed somewhat from the Climate Prediction Center's models, which stated that Connecticut and southern New England has about 1 in 3 chance of seeing above average rainfall. Okay, well, there it is. Moving on, the newspapers, to the Hartford Courant right now. Case of attorney remains puzzling, it says. Nicola, her name's Kuna, a divorce lawyer who was disbarred after making anti-Semitic allegations in court about state judges and then made the target of an arrest order, will have eluded authorities for 2 weeks as of this weekend. She was disbarred in January during an exceptionally bitter divorce and custody fight after trying to derail the case with claims of bizarre judicial conspiracies, racist conspiracy theories that have attracted the attention of the court system and law enforcement agencies. She was disbarred after Kuna failed to produce any substantiation of her claims in spite of being given repeated opportunities to do so. She was later found in contempt and subjected to an arrest order for failing to follow court instructions to wind down her law practice. I mean, what a terrible person. The thing is, we expect lawyers to be upstanding, but they're really not. You know? The good ones overcharge, and the bad ones are just bad news. A Connecticut man battling ALS with enormous courage, it says, 3 years ago. Austin Edie Friedman had a dynamic career in the pharmaceutical biotech field, working for Fortune 500 company, living in exciting places. He and his husband, they've been together for 18 years, married for 5. They've been traveling the world. 2 days before Edie Friedman's 36th birthday, he was diagnosed with ALS. It's a terminal progressive nervous system disease that causes loss of muscle control and usually kills its victims within 2 to 5 years after diagnosis due to respiratory failure. So, yeah. It's very interesting. I had a friend in London who was also married to a man of similar age, and he also got ALS. Exactly the same story. Exactly the same story. Yeah. You probably know him. He's a Sky News guy now. He's called Joe Pike. You can look him up. But exactly the same story. Same age. You know? Very interesting. I see him on Sky News all the time now. I always text him whenever I see him on television. I'm like, there you are. But his husband died, very sadly, you know. 4 dead after wrong-way crash on Interstate 95. It says 4 people died on Sunday following a wrong-way crash on Interstate 95 southbound in Guilford, according to Connecticut State Police. Police said one of the vehicles, a Chevrolet Colorado, was southbound in the left lane of 2 on I-95 south of exit 60. I mean, I was thinking about this, you know, how a lot of death in America could be prevented if we were a slightly less free society. Do you know what I mean? There's something about there being fewer rules that cause more trouble. The second vehicle was in the same lane northbound, traveling the wrong way. The 2 vehicles collided head-on and came to rest in the left travel lane of the highway. I mean, nobody can survive a crash like that. It's just impossible, you know? Civil War Museum gets new chapter in state law. It says a sweat-stained trousers of a Connecticut artillery corporal who was killed as an infantryman are the latest piece of the state's Civil War history at the New England Civil War Museum and Research Center in Vernon. Oh, that's nice. Sweat-stained trousers. What a wonderful thing to have in the museum there. You can keep your sweat-stained trousers. You know, I'll just rather read about them in the Civil War. I'm Anthony Davis. This is Backchannel. I'm your host here. It's the only place where you can, on your Echo device, where you can watch and listen to live shows and chat with hosts in real time. I'm here every weekday, Monday through Friday. And you can send a chat, ask questions, chime in on what we're talking about, anything you want to send my way. If you can see me and you're watching on an Echo show or a Fire TV, the magic word is say. Wake her up, say, and then your message. If you're listening on an Echo speaker and you can't see me, go to backchannel.tv and click on Join the Chat. That's backchannel.tv and click Join the Chat. That's how you do it. Let's take a look at the chat and see who's saying what, who's doing what, who's wearing what. Well, Memorial Day is a day, obviously, of commemoration, but at the same time, I think it's just nice to have a day off from work, isn't it? I think everybody's just enjoying a day off. And it's quite nice weather today. Well, it's actually 66 right now in California, or in Los Angeles. Brett and Andrea, Ayla, Deafening Rat, Huge Crane, Tangible Camel, Dizzy Cougar, thank you for being with us. Damien's messaging, Andrea's listening. Faint Otter's with us as well. So, you know, it's nice to know that you've popped into Backchannel, checking out to see how your Echo show works on this Memorial Day weekend. I've got to start packing and thinking about traveling, and it's very exciting traveling for me. You know, it's something I used to do all the time, and I haven't done it at all for the last 3 years for obvious reasons. And I just feel like I'm a little nervous because I've been tipped off that no one's wearing masks on the aeroplanes, which is a bit frustrating to me because I just feel like it's an absolute guaranteed hotbed of disease on there. Fortunately, this new plane that I'm excited to travel on has a very advanced air conditioning system. They got COVID on landing. Were they wearing masks? Wow. Are they vaccinated? That's so crazy. It's like you take all of these preventional do all these preventional things, and you can still get COVID. I really don't want to get COVID. I don't want to get stuck in London. As much as I love London, I don't want to get stuck there. Okay, let's go back to some of the newspapers. Where did we get to? We did the Hertford Courant. Well, let's look at this subject on policing. This is as the US Department of Justice says it's going to investigate the police response to last week's mass shooting at a school in Uvalde. The first memorial services for the 19 children, 2 teachers killed in the mass shooting at their elementary school began today after Joe Biden visited the small South Texas city and was urged by residents to take action on gun safety laws. Returning to Washington on Monday morning, the president, wearing a black suit, talked about the palpable pain in Uvalde. So let's look at this together. Asked by a reporter on the South Lawn outside the White House whether he felt more motivated to act on guns, Biden said, "I've been pretty motivated all along. The folks who were victimized, their families, the pain is palpable. I think a lot of it is unnecessary. I'm going to continue to push." Republicans in the U.S. Senate have blocked meaningful federal legislation on gun control for many years. Biden has said he's not been negotiating with Republicans in the current rounds of talks underway with Democratic lawmakers on Capitol Hill to see if there's a way forward. On Saturday, Kamala Harris called for a U.S. assault rifle ban as she attended the final funeral for victims killed in a mass shooting in Buffalo just over 2 weeks ago, where an assault rifle was used in a racist attack at a supermarket in a majority black neighborhood. High-capacity semi-automatic military-style assault rifles were used in both the Buffalo and the Uvalde shootings, both purchased legally. Biden said it makes no sense to have something that will fire up to 300 rounds. Even as the city is in shock, parents are demanding safety for their children from gun violence, shouting out as much to Biden and to Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Sunday, but asking more agonizing questions about why armed police waited for more than an hour outside the classroom where the gunman was killing so many. One onlooker to the Bidens visiting the informal memorial of flowers and photographs outside the school on Sunday called that he needed politicians to act. He said, "Our children do not deserve this." As well as demands for gun safety, agonized questions continue to pile up over why local armed police waited for more than an hour outside the classroom where the teenage gunman was killing so many, seemingly violating state policy. The U.S. Department of Justice is now going to investigate the police response. Federal agents from Border Patrol entered the classroom around 80 minutes after the gunman, Salvador Ramos, locked and barricaded himself in there with his victims, and they shot him dead. I mean, how could they get in? I mean, apparently they got a key from the janitor. But, why not get a key from the janitor at the very beginning? It's like they're... Here's the other thing is, the police love their guns. A lot of the police are on the right, they're conservatives. That's well documented. They love their guns, and yet they don't know how to use them. No idea how to use them. They finally get an opportunity to use their guns. Not using them. I mean, what is all that about? This makes no sense. One parent raced to Robb Elementary his daughter's school, where he heard there was a shooting, leaving his truck running with the door open as he ran into the school yard. He's a gun owner, but in his rush to the emergency, he didn't have it with him. He recounted how he spent the next 35 to 45 excruciating minutes scanning the children fleeing the school for his 9-year-old firecracker daughter Jacqueline. All the while, he yearned to run in himself and grew increasingly agitated along with other parents that the police weren't doing more to stop the gunman. A lot of us were arguing with police. You all need to go in there. You all need to do your jobs. He's an Army veteran. We were ready to go to work and rush in. Uvalde is a predominantly Latino community that sits among vegetable fields halfway between San Antonio and the US-Mexico border. The tragedy represents the deadliest school shooting since Sandy Hook in Connecticut in 2012, when 26 people were killed at the elementary school. So Merrick Garland, who's the the Attorney General, he's going to be looking at this, and they'll be doing an investigation, along with all the other investigations they're doing. Obviously, they're spending most of their resources investigating the insurrection of January 6th. And quite rightly, too. You know, American democracy hangs in the balance. But at the same time, it's like, how much more can this department take on? It's like the country's become so lawless, just relentless. In fact, the House committee investigating the attack on the U.S. Capitol by extremist supporters of Donald Trump, they're preparing to start public hearings next week, as the former president called the insurrection on January 6 a hoax. Yes, he spoke at a rally in Wyoming on Saturday night in support of the Republican primary challenger in the midterm elections to Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Cheney sits on the committee and has been vilified by Trump since she voted in favor of his historic second impeachment over the insurrection. Addressing the subcapacity crowd at a rally in Casper for Republican candidate Harriet Hageman, Trump slammed Cheney, saying, as one of the nation's leading proponents of the insurrection hoax, Liz Cheney has pushed a grotesquely false, fabricated, hysterical partisan narrative. He said, look at the so-called word insurrection. What a lot of crap, he said. This is a former president of the United States who really, wasn't fit for office then and is not even fit to be an ex-president. But to use language like this, he's probably the worst person in America in terms of his his qualities. He's probably the worst. I don't think you'd find a worse person than Donald Trump. To know what's at stake, if you think about it, to know that you've got the highest office in the world, and having never read anything about or have any understanding of how democracies fall, the fact that you're prepared to risk the entire country, and the fabric of its the safety of its people, the fabric of its democracy, you're prepared to risk all of these things just because you can't handle the fact that you lost. You're literally throwing the country to the lions. Of course, the mistake was acquitting him. The Senate acquitted him because, of course, they had a Republican, majority. So they acquitted him. And so, therefore, he feels like he's not guilty. I mean, the number of crimes this guy has committed. There's even video and photographs of him colluding with a foreign entity. There's those pictures of him in the Oval Office with those two Russian representatives having a private meeting with nobody was allowed to be in there. In fact, the only photographs that exist from that meeting were taken by Russian state media. Wasn't even any American media allowed it. They allowed the Russian media to take those photos. And this stuff is all just, it's all just become normalized. The select committees gathered mountains of evidence and taken testimony from numerous witnesses behind closed doors while being stonewalled by many senior Republicans and accuses Trump of attempting to lead a coup. The committee is due to hold these public hearings beginning 9th of June and expects to present a report before the midterm elections in November. Separately, the Department of Justice is investigating events on and surrounding the Capitol attack led by the U.S. Attorney General. At the rally in Wyoming, Trump appeared to lament the treatment of those arrested for taking part in the Capitol attack, while falsely claiming that anti-fascist and Black Lives Matter movement anti-racism activists have killed plenty, which is of course not true. More than 800 people have been charged with federal crimes relating to the riot, the biggest federal criminal investigation since 9/11. At least 300 have already pleaded guilty, mostly to misdemeanors. Nearly 200 have been sentenced. Approximately 100 others have trial dates. In the latest court cases, Matthew Mark Wood of North Carolina pleaded guilty last Friday to charges that he stormed the Capitol, including a felony charge of obstructing an official proceeding, and he'll be sentenced in September. And then Joseph Buckler of Maryland pleaded guilty and will be sentenced for parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. I mean, I think it's all a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. I think they just need to go after the organizers. And we're starting to discover who the organizers are, and it turns out Trump was one of the main organizers. It was ruled in court that former top leader of the far-right violent group Proud Boys, Henry Enrique Tarrio, will remain jailed while awaiting trial on charges that he conspired with other members of the extremist group to take part in the insurrection. He's a South Florida resident. He's been indicted on charges including conspiracy. There it is. Yes, there's this weed legalization story. We've done this a while ago, I seem to remember. That's great. We're going to see your pal Hal will be on next with Travis. Yeah, the workhorses. Yeah, the freelancers. As you know, Backchannel has a growing list of shows. Kate Cocker's Everyday Positivity on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 o'clock Pacific. That's 9 o'clock Eastern for an hour of positive news and good vibes. Following my show, Monday through Friday, Your Pal Hal with Hal Rudnick, taking you on a tour of comedy, news and pop culture from 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern. Don't forget to check out The Drive with Mario Smith, weekdays from 1 o'clock Pacific, that's 4 o'clock Eastern. Everyone's drive home needs a second look, so Mario will make sure you're in the know. But not today, I don't think. I don't think. He might be, but I don't think so. Also on this day in, what is the day today anyway? Is it the 30th? Yeah, it's the 30th of May. Theodore Roosevelt was the first U.S. president to visit another country, Puerto Rico. Yes, that's right. He, was it on this actual day? Yeah, it was. With year-round sunshine and beautiful beaches, Puerto Rico is a country that draws visitors from far and wide. Scratch the surface and you'll uncover all manner of surprising facts far beyond the white sands and crystal clear waters. Whether it's science, geography or politics, some fascinating insights into the unique and beautiful country. It has inhabited islands. Yes, it's an archipelago. So some people might not know there are residents on its 3 islands, Puerto Rico, Culebra, and Vieques. At the same time, there's a handful of islands that are part of Puerto Rico where no one lives besides animals. The legendary pirate Cofresi is part of local folklore there. The island's national animal is the small coqui tree frog. The longest-serving governor was in place for 16 years. Luis Munoz Marin, governor of Puerto Rico, for 16 whole years. It also has its own observatory, the world's largest single-dish radio telescope, and it's open to visitors. It's about an hour away from San Juan. That's kind of cool, isn't it? It's known for its beautiful beaches, which are popular spots for water sports. I mean, I do think about places. Remind me, Puerto Rico was hit by a hurricane, wasn't it? Was it a hurricane or was it a tsunami? It was a hurricane, I think. Originally, it was under Spanish rule. A lot of Spanish buildings there. But it's pretty old. There was the first settlement there in 1508, according to the National Park Service. Miss Universe beauty pageant is one of the biggest and most famous across the globe. Among the countries whose representatives have won the title more than once is Puerto Rico. Despite the island's small size and population in comparison with other countries, 5 winners have come from Puerto Rico. Marisol Marilé, Deborah Carthy-Dew, Diana Torres, Denise Cornetes, Zucchella Riviera. Thank you very much. It's a small island geographically, and in comparison, most U.S. states are larger. It's good to know, though, that Puerto Rico is about the size of the state of Connecticut and bigger than the states of Rhode Island and Delaware. The natural geography of Puerto Rico is so varied, especially when you consider its small size. Visitors can go to beaches, rainforests, caves, dry forests, lakes, mountains, and valleys. One great thing that isn't possible everywhere is that many places are only a couple of hours' drive away at most, so it's possible to go to the beach and explore a cave on the same day. It's hard to get bored when there's a lot of beautiful nature to check out. When I think of Puerto Rico, I think of Donald Trump throwing toilet paper at people. Tragically, that's like the lasting image that I have. Do you remember when he went there after the hurricane? Just throwing, was it kitchen towel or toilet towel? But he was lobbing it at people like they were rats. He didn't realize that Puerto Rico was America. He didn't realize. It hadn't occurred to him. That's how racist the guy is. He just knew it was Puerto Rico. Paper towels. It's paper towels, I think. It was so bad. It was like the worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah, he delayed the hurricane relief. There was a story that I vaguely remember. You'll have to look it up. It was a woman talking to him about drinking dirty water. Right? You need to look this up. It was incredible. There was like a video of Trump talking to this woman, and she was like, the thing is, because, we've been having to drink dirty water. The water's not sanitized. And he looked at her and he just went, why? He had absolutely no idea that people can't just go and buy a bottle of Evian or Dasani. He couldn't understand why she was having to drink dirty water. It just hadn't occurred to him. And there was this little video of it, and I'll never forget it, because I was like, wow, you really are so dumb. It was, couldn't believe it. He actually called Puerto Rico one of the most corrupt places on earth. He can't even say Puerto Rico. Can't even say it. He really was the worst president in history. Just the worst president. And yet he's going to come back. He's definitely going to come back. Yeah, of course he was. He had the most negative effect on more people. And his lasting legacy is going to be around forever. And he will probably come back and win again. But the paper towel thing, oh my goodness. He was like, I'm just watching a little video now of him of him throwing the paper towels. I mean, zero self-awareness. Just looking at people's faces while he's throwing the paper towels. It's just awful. I need to stop reminding myself of what we went through, Quite something. Just a message from Jill in the UK saying black is definitely your colour. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate that. As in the colour of the background or as in what I'm wearing? Yeah. I only wear black. I mean, this is all I wear. In fact, this is actually blue. After all that, this is actually blue. So Hal's going to show up in a minute or so. We'll have a chat with him, find out what's happening on his show. If you've enjoyed Backchannel, then there's a couple of ways you can support. If you're watching right now and you can see a subscribe button in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, click it, because subscribing will let you know when we're going live, and we have some plans coming up for those who are subscribed. Another way you can help out, no matter where you're watching or listening, is by leaving a review. So go to backchannel.tv and click on Leave a Review. Your positive reviews help this show continue. So that's backchannel.tv and click on Leave a Review. I'm here every weekday, Monday through Friday. Come back tomorrow. Just say to your Echo, open Backchannel. That's how it works. Just say, open Backchannel. And in fact, I think I'm finishing on Wednesday this week, because I'm flying to London. When's the last one? When's my last one before I fly? Wednesday, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be on a vacation, as it were. Oh, we got Travis joining us. Let's invite him in, beckon him this way. Oh, this way. Is that an SM57? What are you doing? Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you. No, nothing. It's because you're using a Shure microphone. If you use a Shure microphone, it just doesn't work.
I had it set to line.
What's going on with the 57?
I'm on the road this week, and I found myself in one of my childhood friends' parents' homes, who have so graciously allowed me to use their workspace, and I forgot to bring my mic stand. So
well, that thing is very noisy in the hand, as you probably know.
Yeah. Putting that together.
Did you know that that's the microphone that the president uses? You know, when the president goes to the podium.
Really?
There's two 57s on the podium. It's been that way for decades.
Is there anything this country can't get wrong?
But they have a big wind muff, like one of these. Sure, actually make one specific for the 57. It's square. Oh. And so you might not realize that that's what you're looking at, but that's what they are.
Huh. That's nice. Yeah. Two little condensers there. I guess for wind, do they anticipate wind?
They're not condensers. You should know that. They're dynamic.
They're dynamic. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you're dealing with a microphone Nazi here. There's very little that gets by me on the old microphone front.
No, yeah.
Talking of excellent microphones, with his little Chinese toy. Hal, did you buy the microphone I recommended?
Knives out.
No, I'm slow to move on those kinds of things. So
okay. Well, they just reduced the price today and I just ordered myself one for same day delivery.
Oh wow! And a Memorial Day sale. Yes. Everything's got to go.
Everything's got to go. $59.
Was it?
Wow.
That much?
Was it $59?
Yeah, it's been reduced to $59. You buy it today. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the way to go. Anyway, I ordered mine.
Wow.
It'll be here today. Same day delivery.
Amazing. Anthony, you may have... are you getting a commission on this?
No, but I just really do love a microphone, and I'm very happy to recommend. Very happy to recommend.
Well, how much do you love a microphone?
It's really hard to say, but I mean, probably more than my mum. If my mum and my microphones were side by side and I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the microphone, to be honest. And I really love my mum.
Burning building, mother.
Yeah.
Or
microphone selection.
Microphone. The microphones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I got to respect your commitment to microphones.
I mean, without them, I wouldn't have a livelihood. It's important.
That's a great point. That's how I feel about snacks.
Yeah, I can understand that. I also eat my feelings on a regular basis. Travis, how about you suspend that microphone from the ceiling by its cable?
Well, you see, the reason that I can't do that is because this is my travel rig. My cable is about 1.5 feet long.
This is a disaster.
What
a disaster.
Yeah.
By the way, Travis, I love that. We've got a show within the show. People coming in and out behind you.
Yeah. Pots and pans upstairs. Yeah, I have. I have asserted myself on the kindness of others, and everybody is suffering for it.
How come you Americans are happy to work on Memorial Day? I mean, I obviously have an excuse, being British, but are you compelled to work on Memorial Day? Probably not.
No, but they gave us the option,
Yeah.
and I decided
well.
to make a couple of bucks.
Well, $2 is $2.
And I enjoy this. I'm in it for the love, Anthony. You know what? I love showing up. I love showing up, and I love throwing up, and I love
showing off.
Glowing up. Yeah.
Showing
up,
off.
the word vomit.
What a lovely way of putting it.
Thank you, good sir.
Well, I'm thrilled that you've been here and we've been able to do this handover because Jam and Renee were not on this morning, and so I wasn't able to have my little chat with them. So I did feel a little socially isolated at the beginning of the show, but I really feel kind of integrated back with humanity thanks to you guys.
Oh, indeed.
Pleasure.
We're here for you. And Anthony, I mean it when I say I would love to do this IRL with you sometime.
IRL. Irrigation.
Real. That's it. Yep. That's right. All right. We're a third of the way there.
Irrigation, Levitication. I'll have to work it out, but I'm very grateful for the.
You're
for the
very
offer.
close.
Listen, have a great show. Have a great Memorial Day. All the very best to you both. Good luck holding a microphone for 2 hours, Travis. And see you on the other side.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye, Anthony. That was Anthony Davis, the host of the titular character in the Anthony Davis Show. Travis, stick around. What's going on? How was your weekend?
I'm holding a microphone.
How is your 3-day weekend going?
So far so fantastic. I
Oh my God.
jetted myself up to the Bay Area on Saturday to go to my friend. No, actually, I don't know why I phrased it like that. I drove there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It just felt like I was jetting because I left later than I wanted to, so I was just pretty much full go the entire time. I felt like I was in Fast 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, as much of a Fast 10 as you can have in a Scion XB.
Yeah, you know what? They're down a blonde guy in the franchise, so... You're
not wrong.
You're the closest thing we've got to Paul Walker.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility. I will accept it.
Listen, with great power
comes.
I want to shout out Chewy in Puerto Rico. Hola, Boricua. What's going on, Chewy? Raymond in New Jersey. Damien in Maryland. Emily joined the stream. Emily in Alabama. Emily, I'm going to say it again. Roll Tide. Unless you're an Auburn enthusiast, then War Eagle. And if you care about none of that stuff, top of the morning to you. You know what? This is the Your Pal Hal Show. We're here on Backchannel. And I am Hal Rudnick, the host. With me is my producer and just all around swell guy, Travis Reeves. Travis, so tell me a little bit more about your excursion, your escape to the Bay.
Easy drive. Can't complain. No traffic. Slid right in around 8:45, 9 o'clock p.m. When the party was really going, and it was just a pure serotonin hit. Nostalgia, current events, old friends, new friends, everybody there having a good time. Oh my goodness. It was magical. And then the next day, we helped my friend clear out his house because he's moving. And apparently he's the last to find out about it because his house is still full of crap. And there's still a little bit of that left to go today, but I'm not going to be a part of that. And then throughout the evening, we found our way back to one of the childhood high school. Oh, this is the person's house we always go to because their parents are wonderful, their home is wonderful, and we all just stayed the night like we were 16. It was fantastic.
How about it? Oh, you can go
Yeah.
home again.
You can go home again.
And what are you drinking there, Travis?
This is a grapefruit seltzer. Grapefruit seltzer, because I was like, I need water.
What brand?
This is Signature Select Safeway, which Los Angeles people may know as Vaughn's. Up here, it's Safeway. That's my
Okay.
home branding.
Very
for
good.
it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nicely done. We are very snack and beverage forward on this show. So, always good to know. Always good to know what you're sipping on. Folks, if you would like to get involved, there's a couple ways you can do that. You want to connect with you want to convene. You want to just lock in with your smart device. Get your smart device's attention. Use the magic word say, and then you can communicate whatever you'd like after that. So, smart device might rhyme with T-Rexa. Smart device, say, let us know what you're sipping on, okay? Smart device, say, I'm sipping on some Safeway brand grapefruit flavored seltzer. Smart device, say, got my coffee. Smart device, say, oh, it's whiskey, baby. You are celebrating Memorial Day with a big old glass of whiskey on the rocks, as it was meant to be celebrated. Or go to backchannel.tv and chit chat with us there by clicking join the chit chat. But it actually just says join the chat. But it wouldn't be fun if it said join the chit chat. Thanks for being here on the Your Pal Hal Show. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. 11 to 1 on the West Coast. 2 to 4 on the East Coast. 1 to 3 in Omaha, Nebraska, the home of Rob Schaefer, attorney at law, the official attorney of the Your Pal Hal Show. Maryland and New Hampshire is here. Oh, I adore Maryland and New Hampshire. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming by. Raymond says, what are we talking about today? Raymond, let me fill you in, my friend. We're going to talk a little, Memorial Day, and we have a wonderful list to explore per Memorial Day. And then we are going to be talking some news, trending topics. And then, of course, there's going to be goofs, gags, hijinks, nonsense, tomfoolery, buffoonery, shenanigans. It's going to be ridiculous. Andrea in Florida. What up with you, Andrea? Seriously, Andrea, what up with you? Let us know in the chat. Get your smart device's attention. Use the magic word say, and then put in anything after that. Raymond went camping from the world this past weekend. Oh, did you you got away from everything? That's nice. Grass Puddle in the house. Good to see you. Simon, a.k.a. Mild Dairy Lifesavers. Thanks for being here, pal. And we're going to talk about. We have a lot of fun stuff. We got a Memorial Day centric list. We are going to we've got a bunch of goofs, a bunch of gags, and it's gonna be quite a day. A lot of baseball is on today. It's gonna be a good time. Simon says, you guys, I have a bird who's laid 2 eggs in my bird feeder over the last 2 days. Very nice. You know what? You're doing your part for nature, Simon. You've got a little refuge for the birds. You are, Simon, you are a one-man bird sanctuary, and that is just lovely. You know what? I've had a lazy weekend. Watched some basketball, went to the movies, saw Top Gun, Maverick, and you know what? A crowd pleaser. Some movies, you walk in and it's like, oh, that was a crowd teaser. This one, a crowd pleaser. So, talk a little bit more about that. We're going to go over the weekend box office. Yeah, good times. Let's bring back your friend and mine, producer Travis. Simon says any volleyball scenes? No, there was there was like a beach football scene though. So like they were checking a lot of boxes. Here are the boxes that Top Gun Maverick checked. Nostalgia. Aerial photography, plane cinematography that was out of this world.
Ooh.
Blind jingoism, sure.
Okay.
Like, I mean, of course, you know what? If you are like, I hesitate to say this on Memorial Day because we're talking about it's that Memorial Day is celebrating the real people who served and lost their lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it like if you don't think Top Gun is going to be kissing butts and boot licking, essentially,
mm-hmm.
then you don't know what you're watching. Yeah, of course. I forget the numbers on this, but I was listening to a program or watching a program. It came from a program is what I'm trying to say, this information that I'm about to divulge to you. The enrollment, the joiners in the U.S. Navy and Air Force after the original Top Gun went up like through the roof, skyrocketed. It was like Top Gun was like equivalent to 9/11 when it came to enlistments. That's the only. Well, also planes were involved. But the Top Gun plane. I'm digging a hole now. Should I keep going with that hole, Travis?
It's my job to say no, but I want to say
Pull up!
Goose, no.
Oh, gosh. So, Travis.
Yes.
And I took a page out of Mild Dairy Lifesaver's book.
Mm-hmm.
The wife and my wife, watched the original Top Gun. We watched that on Friday night, and then we went to a Saturday morning matinee of Top Gun.
Oh, that's nice.
Maverick. Oh, and the theater was like empty. I smuggled in my my Skinny Pop because that movie theater popcorn, that there is a sodium bomb. That's my heart exploding from the sodium. 11:11, make a wish. Wherever you are, stop what you're doing. If you're driving, close your eyes. Make a wish. I made my wish. Close my eyes and I made my wish. And I want you to remember, if you're making a wish on a birthday cake, on the candles, shooting star, wishing well, throw a penny in the wishing well, make a wish. Or if you're wishing on 11/11, don't tell anyone your wish. Otherwise, your wish is going to be snuffed out by the powers that be. Travis, did you make a wish?
I did.
Follow up. What was your wish? Well, that's the last time I tried to ask Travis what his wish was today. All right, thank you, Travis. Nicely done.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
He's not yet, but S. Friedman, welcome. Always a pleasure. S. Friedman wished that Hal would not get that lower back butterfly tattoo he's been thinking about getting. Oh, so now I might end up getting a butterfly tramp stamp. Can I say that? Can I say that on this broadcast?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
I think we're good there.
Great. Raymond says, good answer, good idea. Thank you, Raymond. That's what I'm talking about, Raymond. And Travis.
Yes.
A couple of things to talk about here. One thing. So everyone, half the people in the chat here, are part of our Backchannel Fantasy Baseball League. Travis,
Correct.
You've been moving up a little bit. Your team has been grinding. Your team is on the grind.
I am failing upwards because let me tell you, I am not putting in the hours at all. I am letting Yahoo take me for a ride, and it's taking me straight to the top-ish, baby.
Okay, so here's... Oh, Mom's in the house. Mama's doing all right, too, in the Fantasy League. So here's a couple... couple of fantasy things. Travis says he's letting the computer do it. Yeah, if you click set your lineup and you and make sure... Here, just a couple of things. Make sure you set your lineup. Make sure you put your injured guys on the in your IL spots and pick up players to fill those spots. Okay, that's
right.
what you're going to want to do. That's the bare minimum. That's called the bare minimum.
Yes.
There are a couple of teams that will remain nameless that are not doing that. But yeah, I get it. We all have busy lives. I, for some stupid reason, have made free fantasy leagues priorities in my life. Okay. Secondly, it's fun. I love it. Secondly, I sent a story via Twitter out there, tagged many of our league members about Jock Peterson, San Francisco Giants outfielder, well-traveled. He's been on the Cubs, been on the Dodgers. Oh, world champion with the Atlanta Braves last year. The Pearls. Do you remember Jock Peterson's Pearls? Travis?
Yes, I do. They were a topic of much, well, not debate, but just at the house we were like, that's fun. Look at that.
Yeah, I dug it.
Yeah,
It was like an homage to his grandmother, and it just had some nice swag, some nice flair to it. To put it into what is it? Office terms. What's the movie where they talk about all the flair?
Oh, that's Office Space.
Office Space, yeah. Nice flair, Jock Peterson. So Jock Peterson had a fantasy football bet, or he had a fantasy football league with a bunch of other major leaguers, and one of them being Tommy Pham, another well-traveled ball player, Padres, currently, excuse me, Cincinnati Reds. Pardon me. Debbie Butterfield, Travis's mother in the house. Great to see you. The Tommy Pham was in the league. Giants played the Reds. Tommy Pham accosts Jock Peterson in the outfield, slaps him. I swallowed down the wrong pipe.
Are you? Do we have to call someone? Are you gonna be all right?
I'm gonna make it through. Thank you for bearing with me.
I appreciate that because I don't want you to pull a we don't need a Freddie Mercury here. The show doesn't have to go on.
Oh, I think it does. We're here on Memorial Day. Brett's in the house. Brett, I appreciate you joining us. Did you know there was a fantasy league movie? It says Raymond. Raymond, what's that? I know there's The League, that show with Paul Scheer, Nick Kroll, and many others. Oh, here we go. Travis, good work, Travis. Travis, best Chiron guy in the biz. Bringing up. Okay, so we're not see. Okay, so here's the tweet, and then we'll see the video. Tommy Pham slapped Jock Peterson across the head and was suspended for 3 games because lingering resentment from a rule regarding IR designation in their fantasy football league spilled over into real life and led to Pham's attack. Baseball is not real. It's a Mad Lib. All right, let's see that video.
I don't even understand. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so
Ooh.
Tommy Pham walking. Boom! There it was. Whack! Boom! Bing! Bam! Boom! Pow! So, grass puddle. No! Grass Puddle says, so slapping Hal over fantasy rules are allowed. No, 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 nani, ni, 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 no, nani, no, no. Grass Puddle. As you said, as I said in my tweet to the league, let's avoid it. Let's avoid this.
Yeah.
Simon doesn't feel safe, but I investigated further. And by investigating further, I mean I watched another video that was in that thread of Jock Peterson spilling the tea on what went down. So, here it is. This was in the league last year. There were all these, including Tommy Pham, when he was on the Padres. There were a lot of Padres, and Jock Peterson said something to the Jock Peterson sent a meme making fun of the Padres season, saying, you guys have all this basically making fun of them for having so much talent, which the Padres were loaded with good players. Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, others. And they were underachieving. So Jock Peterson sent a funny meme directed at like the 4 or 5 Padres players that were in the league. Tommy Pham took umbrage with that. And he says, bruh, I don't know you well enough for you to be making those jokes at our expense. And Jock Peterson, and this is in Peterson's words, and he brought up receipts. He had his phone with him to show the conversation. By the way, don't eat almonds while you're talking. That is what happened here. That was a rookie move. While Travis was saying something, I shut off my mic and I was chewing on almonds. Now I've got almond debris to deal with. But Tommy Pham said, I don't know you well enough, Pham, for you to be making those comments. And Jock Peterson, in his words, he said he apologized. And S. Friedman says almonds are COVID. Oy, God forbid. I'll take almonds, please. So, cut two. Cut two. It was a carryover of that conversation, is what I heard. So, there it is. Deborah Rudnick wishing a happy Memorial Day to Debbie Butterfield. I love it when a couple of Debs come together. Very nice, very nice. Tommy Pham. Hold, why is the world too many slaps happening nowadays, right? Don't slap. Hug, high five.
It's like they said in preschool, don't hit.
Don't hit. All right? Kyle Harlow saying, I'm suffering from almond lung. That's when your lung becomes shriveled up like an almond. Oh, God forbid. COVID or almond, Grass Puddle says, is the worst game show ever. S. Friedman. Very nice, folks. And you know what? Travis, I believe it's time to launch ourselves headlong into the Twitterverse, dive into the Twitter sphere. Let's see what is trending on the Twitter website. By the way, Travis, I'm sending you a secret message. There's our deep dive. Okay? Great. Memorial Day is observed today, May 30th. And for anyone who served, thank you. However you feel about the military and the place of the U.S. as the world's policeman, there's good people who have risked their lives and given their lives for us to just literally enjoy the lifestyle, the life we have here. in the United States. For we've been talking on the show. There's a lot that's wrong with this country, but there's a lot that we take for granted every day. I think I know I do. So for those who served and for those who have given their lives, all gave some gave all. The soldiers. In the words of Transformers, remember the fallen? Is that the name of one of the Transformers movies? Remember the Fallen, Rise of the Fallen? Transformers. Dark Side of, no, Revenge of the Fallen. You know what? That has nothing to do with Memorial Day. Or is that movie about a robot Memorial Day? Maybe not. But yeah, my father was a Marine in the late 50s, early 60s. Just missed going overseas. People who serve should get tickets to sporting event when they come back as a thank you, so not to a golf tournament because golf is not a sport. Wow, you really... And that's like a fine how do you do. I mean, I think service people are already not given the respect and the care that they need and require, as evidenced by so many veterans suffering PTSD and various ills. So that would be welcome back from the horrors of war. Here's a couple of tickets to a sporting event. S. Friedman. But S. Friedman just wanted to remind us that he believes golf not a sport. You know what? I'm in staunch disagreement with you, S. Friedman. Partially because my wife, Division I college golfer. So let's just say I'd be in the doghouse. Memorial Day holiday observed the last Monday in May. Across the United States, pay tribute to those who died serving their country in the armed forces. There's the president. Let's keep scrolling. He's at the Arlington National Cemetery. There's Chuck Schumer. Okay, let's keep going. Let's just see what we see. Hudsonizer's in the house. Always love it when you come by, Hudsonizer. Thanks for being here. When Biden says, today we renew our sacred vow. It's a simple vow. Remember, Memorial Day is always a day when pain and pride mix together. For so many of you, as with Jill and me, the hurt is wrapped around the knowledge that your loved one is part of something bigger. There you go. Hudsonizer says, speaking of college sports, college baseball selection show was this morning. My school is going to Palo Alto to play Stanford. Ugh. Oh, Stanford, college baseball powerhouse. I wish you luck, Hudsonizer. Hope you make it to, what is it? Is it Omaha for the, oh, wait. Rob Schaefer. Well, Rob, I don't think Rob is here, but is the College World Series, and I can't believe College World Series baseball. It's in Omaha. Yeah. Hudsonizer, I hope you make it there. Pulling for you. What school? What school, Hudsonizer? If you don't mind my asking. Yeah, if Rob Schaefer comes by today, we need to We need to follow up with him about this. Softball World Series 2, says Grass Puddle. Very nice, very nice. Texas State. All right. Go get him. Go get him. All right. So to everybody, wishing you a happy, safe Memorial Day. Stacy says, S. Friedman, golf is a sport. Raymond says, golf is a sport, a boring sport, but it's still a sport. Stacy says, I'm going to give you one more warning to leave our power alone. Our pal Hal, I think Stacy was saying. Stacy, great to have you here. Stacy, this is for you. Yeah, baby, yeah. All right. Let's check in on some other trending topics. Texas State, by the way. What is the mascot? Texas State Bobcats. Hey, go Bobcats. Scratch 'em cats. Oh. Simon says shout out to Omaha Steaks. Oh, yeah. Today'd be a good day to slap a few of those bad boys on the grill. Hey, Travis, come on in here. Hey, Travis, you gonna slap anything on the grill today?
No.
Travis, you eat anything of note this weekend?
Oh, as soon as I got into town, oh my goodness, I didn't go to my friend's house first. I pulled right into Taqueria Los Gallos in Pleasant Hill, California. It was great.
All right. What'd you order?
I ordered 3 tacos, 2 chicken, 1 al pastor, a light dinner before the party.
Hell yeah.
That's right. And then the
I
next
had some
morning,
good eats this weekend. I had some hot eats and cool treats. Wait,
Yeah.
what was say again? Go ahead.
then the next morning we went to a Sugar Plum Cafe, beloved neighborhood diner. I went absolutely insane over a vegetarian omelet. It was a great time.
Ow!
Oh yeah. What about you? What'd you scarf?
Friday night. It was a decent eating weekend. Nice. I know you don't dig this. I know this is not going to sound appetizing to you, but wife and I ordered sushi to the house on Friday night. That was delivered, and it was delicious.
Wonderful.
It was delicious, and definitely chased it with some sake.
Ooh.
Definitely threw back some sake. I walked down to the liquor store and bought a nice bottle of sake. And by nice bottle, I mean not the cheapest, not the most expensive. Then, Saturday, went over to the neighbors. Lobster rolls.
Whoa.
Woo! Delicious, buttery lobster rolls. You better believe it tasted good. Also, we didn't want to come empty-handed, so my wife ordered from Taste of Chicago this apple pie that she grew up with. And then we had that with some ice cream for dessert. Forget it. I was down for the count. Got a little too tipsy on Saturday night also. I had maybe 2 or more drinks than I might normally. Because we were socializing, and then I threw one more back when I got home. Let's just say I was feeling no pain on Saturday night. Then Sunday, my wife cooked up some delicious chicken sausages.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Delicious Italian chicken sausages. Ooh. And I threw some mustard and sauerkraut, and I put that bad boy in a pretzel bun. Round of applause for a pretzel bun. Yeah, I'm surprised I was not crippled by a hangover yesterday morning, though. I think it's that I had an Advil. I had one Advil.
Nice.
And that did the job. But I drank Saturday night, because this is not a regular, like I drank two different, like, tall boy beers, champagne and rosé.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was listen, when in Rome, am I right? Whatever that means. Hey, how are they Italian chickens? Were they good fowls? Grass puddle. Yes.
Boy.
Yes. Our friend Simon giving us the recipe for a mint julep on National Mint Julep Day. I don't celebrate National Mint Julep Day because it's too associated with the plantation lifestyle for me.
Interesting.
I just made that up. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
National Mint Julep Day should be the same day as the Kentucky Derby, I think.
That's a really, that's perfect.
8 mint leaves, 1/4 ounce simple syrup, 2 ounces bourbon garnish, mint sprig garnish, Angostura bitters. Simon said, Grass Puddle, see yourself out and see yourself right back in, because keep those puns coming. This is a pun-friendly zone. Oh, yeah. You did not run afoul of us here at the show. All right. Just Simon was going to say Kentucky Derby. All right, very good, very good. Let's get back into it. The NRA had a big powwow over the weekend in Texas, and they were up all in their own business, kissing their own butts, and making a solid pledge not to change a blessed thing while this country is suffering one horrific, catastrophic event after another. And it's not only are we losing lives, it's tarnishing our freaking souls, man. Like, it's disgusting. It's horrific. What is freedom worth if this is the price? A couple of Hudsonizer. Hal's love of bad puns is the main thing keeping him from being the most famous and successful. Thank you, Hudsonizer. I'll take that under advisement. Also, Hudsonizer saying he's so mad about Uvalde. Yeah. The inaction of the cops. My friend Simon sent me a timeline of what happened in that classroom, of what happened in that school. What the hell are we doing? It's impossible. This is because, and Ted Cruz, is, it's so clear that he doesn't believe what he's selling, but he's only doing it for political gain because he's a worm. He's a weasel. He's a weaselly worm because he's smarter than he appears. That he's towing the company line so hard. Ted Cruz said he literally dropped the old chestnut. The only thing to stop a good guy with a gun is rewind. Take it again. The only thing to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Good guys with a gun was at Buffalo at the top supermarket. Killed. Good guys, multiple good guys with guns were in Uvalde at that elementary school and did Nothing. And then you get Greg Abbott giving, hopefully, the soundbite that loses him the election against Beto O'Rourke. Governor Greg Abbott said, this could have been worse. What? 19 children. 21 people dead. At the NRA conference, it was a funny moment that happened. We've talked about these guys on the show before. There's a great political comedy duo called The Good Liars, and Jason Selvig of The Good Liars, he got up at the podium and gave this extremely sarcastic thank you directly to Wayne LaPierre for all of his thoughts and prayers. All of the thoughts and prayers. Yeah. The meaningless, the useless thoughts and prayers. So, yeah. Unbelievable. Oh, and in a completely dystopian, weird, what am I watching kind of moment, also at this big, poorly timed, although when would be a good time for the NRA to get together and pat themselves on the back, but at this just outrageous event, former president, no longer the president because he lost and he's a loser. He's a loser. Donald Trump. Donald Trump was there and he read the name of every victim of Uvalde. And they like rang a bell after each one. And just like, it was like his heart wasn't in it. It was so awkward. And it was just like, again, the equivalent of thoughts and prayers. If they really cared, they'd do something. We're not saying, I mean, some people say it, but, they're not saying literally abolish the Second Amendment. Just background checks. High-capacity magazines. Don't let an 18-year-old buy a long gun. Yeah. Wild. Better steaks, Simon. Omaha steaks or Trump steaks, by the way? Got to go Omaha. Trump. Anything Trump touches is garbage. Paper towel slinger. There you go. In Puerto Rico. And the way he was talking about those paper towels in Puerto Rico. Beautiful. The most beautiful, thick paper towels. The best, the highest quality, the best, only the best. Trump steaks are made from people, says Simon. Allegedly. Wouldn't doubt it. All right, so, yeah. Sad stuff there. In our dystopia. Biden says he's not going to send missiles to the Ukraine that will reach Russia. I want to bring that up. Travis? So, the U.S. will not send Ukraine rocket systems that could reach Russia, says Biden. The United States will not send Ukraine rocket systems that can reach Russia, President Joe Biden said on Monday, as Ukraine pushes for longer-range weapons systems to help in its fight. Ukrainian officials have been asking allies for longer-range systems, including the multiple rocket launch systems, or the MLRS, that can fire a barrage of rockets hundreds of miles away. We're not going to send Ukraine rocket systems that strike into Russia, Biden told reporters after arriving back at the White House after a weekend in Delaware. There you go. There you go. Maybe give Ukraine a nuke. Maybe give them a nuke. Or not. I don't know. You know what? Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Give them all nukes. Give them all nukes. Or not. Don't. A small nuke. Yeah. Grass puddle. Just a tiny nuke. Give them just a baby nuke. All right. Let's talk about some more frivolous things. Travis. I need you. Travis.
Yes.
Did you watch any basketball yesterday, Travis?
Caught some glimpses. I checked in a couple times each quarter on my phone. Pulled up a little streaming site and popped in to see what the word was. Caught the last 2 minutes in full.
Oh, man.
Whew.
Things got hectic that last minute.
Things got hectic.
The Heat were down by 11 or whatever.
Yeah, they had an 11-0 run.
They stormed back and got within two. But alas, could you imagine how Boston would have felt if they collapsed like that? But
that would have set their franchise into a summer of absolute disarray.
Oh my gosh. But speaking of which, Tyler Hero didn't even play the second half. How did he get in the doghouse like that?
Well, he's been injured.
But he played in the first half.
Yeah, I don't know if he was right, though, because he missed the last 3 games, and he was questionable. I think from what I understand, they gave him a run, and then Spoelstra was like, you're not doing it.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo walks off the court, rips his jersey off, rips it in half. Yeah, that's tough because Miami's window is closing.
Yeah,
because,
as it just opened.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Butler. Whatever his expiration date is, that's as long as they have. Jimmy Butler, he's not getting any younger. He's in his 30s, but he's gotta respect. He's got some dog in him. You know what I mean?
He's that guy.
He is that guy. Mama, there goes that man, to quote Mark Jackson. To quote noted homophobe Mark Jackson. Kyle Harlow says, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to say, this highlighter for anybody who missed it. This is the play in question. You can see Miami down 2 points, 96-98. Rebound, Jimmy pushes in transition and then takes the most icon shot of all time, which front rims. And that's the game. That's the game.
You can't, he is the guy, though. If he wants to take that shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Kyle Harlow says Jimmy Butler shot a 3 to take the lead with 25 seconds left for the lead, but missed. Yep. Got that right, Kyle Harlow. Jimmy Butler has overcome quite a bit to get where he is. He's quite a story. I like that guy a lot. Also, he and I very similar in as much as he's a light beer enthusiast.
As we've been learning every hour on the hour.
And a coffee enthusiast.
That's true.
That's my guy. I just have, all he wants to do is win. Didn't mesh with Minnesota because he didn't feel like they had the heart.
No.
And there were stories about, he showed up at a practice after he had been holding out, and he's like, all right, let's do this. And Jimmy Butler and the second team just eviscerated Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins when he was on the team. That was like Jimmy
Legendary.
Butler exposed Andrew Wiggins a little bit. But now Andrew Wiggins, he's found the right system. He's found the right system.
Yeah, which turns out is not verbal abuse. Who would have thunk it?
Kyle Harlow also pointing out that Jimmy Butler and we both love singing Hootie. We both love singing Hootie. Only want to be with you.
I have two fun facts about this outcome in the series going forward.
Hit me.
One is the Boston Celtics have completed their Eastern Conference revenge tour, beating the last 3 teams that eliminated them in the postseason in the same round they were eliminated in. Yeah, so over the last 3 years, they were nixed in the first, second, and third round by Boston, and then Philadelphia, and then Miami.
How about that?
Yeah. Second
Nicely
fun
done.
fact, and this fact's really fun.
Hit me. Okay.
3 years ago, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving left their respective teams to, quote, build something special. Now the teams they left are facing off in the NBA Finals.
What about Brooklyn? What happened to them?
Well, no, that's the thing. They left to build something special in Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn got bounced in the first round, and, Kyrie Irving swept. Kyrie Irving
don't leave that
left
out.
the Boston Celtics. Kevin Durant left the Golden State Warriors, and, look who's in the finals.
There it is, baby. So we got Celtics, we got Warriors, and just for the sake of our show, Travis, I will be pulling for the Celtics.
Great, sounds good. Everybody's against me. Nobody likes me. I'm alone in this world.
Not true.
And I don't need anybody because I have my boys.
You've got Debbie Butterfield.
I do.
I think Boston matches up very well to Golden State. I've got Boston winning in 7, says Simon.
I didn't think I was going to be as emotionally invested in Jimmy bricking that 3 as I was, but recognizing that was the difference between a 5-game win over the Heat and probably a 6 to 7 game loss against the Celtics was geez.
Oh, you think the Celtics will beat them?
I think it's going to be incredibly tough. Much like we saw in the second round with Memphis, Boston has no weak points defensively, even less so than Memphis. And they're not as dynamic, but they just play a style that is one of the few teams in the history of this run that can stick the spokes of the Golden State offense wheel. And it terrifies me because when you shake that cage too much... I think it's going to be a good
series. Yeah,
I think it's going to be fantastic. I don't think we're going to be... we're not going to be walked over, but it's going to be turnovers... It's going to be a lot of weird, not knowing how to run the motion for periods of times. I'm anticipating some ugly games and a lot of tension.
Breaking news. Stacy says, earlier I was housing on some rice, cheese, broccoli, and chicken, along with, wait for it, chocolate cake.
Oh, dang.
Yum, yum, yum. Stacy, you're doing it right. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And, we've been talking a lot of basketball. Hudsonizer says Warriors in 6, not 5, in 6. Okay. So, Hudsonizer, appreciate that. I, you know what? In my heart of hearts, I see it going similarly. It's very hard for me to doubt that Warrior team, that battle-tested Warrior team. But Celtics got a squad. Celtics will show up and I think they could take 2 at least. But we're talking a lot of basketball. Let's check on the Texas Rangers. And I believe there's a game in progress right now, according to Stacy. Travis, could you verify this? Could you, could we check that? Can you Snopes that for us? Can you Snopes it?
Would love to.
Now Simon says that Stacy should wash that delicious meal down with a mint julep. Not a bad idea. Kyle Harlow says, how green will Marcus Smart's hair be? You know what? If he wasn't a member, if he didn't play for the Boston Celtics, he could join the Spirit Squad with that hair. You know what I mean? He could absolutely join. the Spirit Squad. Check on the AL West, the American League West, for our friend Stacy. Astros still in first place. Angels been slipping 3-7 in the last 10 games. Rangers are 7 games out. Third place, still holding it down in third. They're going to have to make a little hay if they want to climb back into this race. Mariners, my friend Simon roots for the Mariners. They are 10 games back. And the A's struggling at 400. The lonely A's. Lonely because their crowds
broke,
are sad.
Without a home, when you really think about it in some respects.
Oh my gosh.
Just
Wait,
a bunch of orphans.
You know what? I wouldn't say that. Now you're making fun of parentless people, the unhoused. You've really stepped in it, Travis.
Have you been to that stadium lately?
Good point. And is there a game in progress?
No.
Now,
the Rangers will be playing at 5:30 today. They're going to be playing, I think,
Are they playing
Royals?
the Athletics?
No, that series is over, and they absolutely trounced us. They are going to be up against the juggernaut, Tampa Bay Rays.
Gotcha.
Yeah. 5:05 p.m.
What are the Rays in second?
I think so. Yeah, they're 28-19. Let's take a look here and see what the standings are. That's the AL East. They are second behind the actual juggernaut Yankees at 33-15.
Yeah, the Yankees are really
terrifying,
making some noise right now. There you go. Let's talk about, the elephant in the room. We buried the lead here. Depp heard. I guess the jury's in deliberations now. This article I saw trending, and I thought it was interesting because we've talked about this before. Listen, it takes two to tango. This seems like two difficult people. JD and AH. But the men's rights activists, the hate, the vitriol towards Amber Heard, which at the end of the day, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve vitriol from some folks, but is that swinging the pendulum too far into discrediting survivors of domestic violence? That's dangerous. That's unfortunate. That's not cool. Let's take a look at this article. Why did the internet turn on Amber Heard? The defamation case brought by the actor Johnny Depp against his ex-wife, the actress Amber Heard, has captured the public imagination in a way few other celebrity litigation exercises have. The libel battle led to a tsunami of online content during the trial, most of it vilifying her, Amber Heard. What's behind it, asks Polly Vernon. Let's click on this article and see if we can make anything out here. Thank you for those clicks, Travis. The trolling of Amber Heard. You know what? Would it be easier? Is there a thread? Is there a bite-sized thread? Let's walk through the thread.
There is. One sec here.
Great.
Pull that up. There we go.
Thanks,
all right.
Travis.
You're welcome.
There was live streaming, a multitude of memes, and a Justice for Johnny hashtag. Compilation clips of things such as Amber Heard's team get wrecked in the most hilarious way by this witness circulated, and Don't Be an Amber t-shirts were produced. Scrolling. Depp has for decades enjoyed the support of an infamously virulent fan base, the Deppford Wives. What? Ha! However, anti-Heard sentiment extends far beyond the limits of that cohort. The creation of memes, the merchandise, and the way the case has been consumed as a form of entertainment, plus the victim blaming and the diminishing of the problem of domestic abuse. Yes, the majority of people seem convinced that Heard is the baddie in this drama. And by baddie, we're not talking about like, a hottie, like, because baddie can be like, where are my baddies at? Ooh. No, I'm talking about like the bad guy. Something I wanted to make clear there, which was not necessary, but I wanted to say that. They have damned the way in which she cried on the witness stand as not merely unconvincing, but further proof of her inferior acting skills, i.e. solid evidence that she married Depp to benefit her career because she clearly can't rely on talent to win her roles. They have reveled in the accusation that she once defecated on the bed she and Depp shared, something she denied, calling her Amber Turd. They've rejoiced in the knowledge that a petition to have her edited out of Aquaman 2 reached nearly 3 million signatures. She's very fake, manipulative woman. When you've ever met in your life one person, one female friend tells me. She's the proof that Me Too went too far, says another, also female. It's because of her legitimate victims of domestic violence aren't believed. That's the danger. But is it because of her, or is it because... But yeah, it seems like there's a little bit on both sides. But Travis, I don't know if you saw, there was like one clip of her in the courtroom on the witness stand, and she's like drying her eyes and like wiping her nose because she's crying, and it's an emotional situation. But then you see the like you notice cameras going off or something, and she pauses like this.
Yeah, I remember seeing a bit of that in one of the articles in the past couple of weeks. It's
weird. It was like, oh,
it's like flopping.
It was like posing. Yeah. She was posing, like it was performative grief, seemingly. So we get the gist of this. Let's see, is there any more worthwhile in that thread?
No, that's the end of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there it is. It's so dangerous because women need to be, you need to listen to women. You need to take their abuse allegations very seriously, because for many years, so much of this stuff was swept under the rug. But yeah, it's so dangerous to set the movement back. So there you go. What I think is interesting, says Simon, is why have a dog in this fight? They're clearly not good people, and they're certainly not good to each other. Yeah, like, listen, you can appreciate Johnny Depp's movie, but like, yeah, if you're just such a stan, if you're just such a fan and a stan of Johnny Depp, then people love sharing an opinion on the internet. Just my opinion. Nicely done, Grass Puddle. Johnny Depp, good friend of Tim Burton. Shout out Tim Burton, says Simon. Tim Burton, who looks nothing like our friend Simon. Travis, what do you say we go ahead, do a little station ID, and then take a break and come back and have some more fun on the other side? Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Folks, my name is Hal Rutnick. This is the Your Pal Hal Show on Backchannel, the only play on your Echo device where you can listen live and chat live with the host. It's noon 02 here in the home office, Los Angeles, California, of the Your Pal Hal Show. 302 on the East Coast. 202 in Omaha, Nebraska, and in the great state of Texas. Omaha, Nebraska, the home of Rob Schaefer, attorney at law. Folks, the show is better when you join the chat. So you can do it a couple of different ways. If you're listening on your smart device, get its attention. Say its name rhymes with T-Rexa. Use the magic word say and then put in anything after that. Let us know what you're snacking on. All right? Smart device, say, I'm housing some chocolate cake. Smart device, say, I'm eating some almonds. Smart device, say, those almonds made me cough. Don't worry, it's not COVID, it's just almonds. You can also go to backchannel.tv, click, join the chit chat, and then you are off and running. Folks, we are going to take just a little break, and then we're going to come back with, so much good time, so much fun, right after this.
Hey, surely will around you, the amazing things you see. The cars they feel so wonderful, how can such things be? A little science, a little magic, a little science, a little
What up? Your pal Hal back with you. And let's hit a couple of more trending topicalities that we've got on. If you want to follow along at home, we're on the Twitter website, twitter.com. Some call it a gift, some call it a cesspool. I think it can be a little bit of both. But listen, if it's a cesspool, I'm dirty because I'm wading up in it. Gen Z. We've talked about the Great Resignation. Now we've talked about it several times on this show. Jobs, paying the bills, got to do it. You know what? Find what you love, let it kill you. I like that. You know what? It's tough. It's tough. My mom likes to say, I'd ask mom how was work, and she said, "Work is work." Or can you do something that you love that fuels you, so you don't feel like you're just selling your soul to the man, to capitalism, to compete in this rat race? Anyway, came to a head the past couple of years. Combination of things. I mean, minimum wage not has not been keeping up with the cost of living, and that is indicative of a larger problem: respect for workers. That became in stark graphic relief during this pandemic when people were forced to press pause on their jobs, and many people said, "You know what? Enough is enough. I want to walk away from this job. I don't want to be a wage slave. I don't want to put up with this BS from this job that does not care about me in a commiserate way where I'm supposed to care about it," etc., so on and so forth. I don't got to tell you. I'm just giving you a little refresher on the chain of events. So we come to this article that we see right here. Travis, you want to pop that up on the big screen there? Meet the typical Gen Z worker who is quitting their job for a better one, but probably regretting it later. Okay, it's from Business Insider. Let's see. And again, this is the Business Insider. Is this factual, or is this just an opinion piece? Gen Z is I asked the question. I don't have the answer. Gen Z, Travis.
Off the bat, it sounds like a job wrote this article.
It sounded like a jobber wrote this article?
It's
like
just
someone...
a job. Like a job said, I'm going to write an article.
Oh. Like resentful of Gen Zers? Like,
yeah,
how
you
dare
left me.
You
left
come to
me.
your job. Like, so this is a corporate shill, basically.
We'll see, but early returns are.
Yeah, that's like, I'm asking the question because it comes from Business Insider. You think Business Insider is a dog in this fight? Do you think Business Insider is on the side of...
What would they be without business? Just
business?
Insider? That's already a thing.
Yeah, right? Travis is, with good reason, a little dubious, a little wary. Gen Z is paving the way for change in the post-pandemic workforce. They prioritize a good working environment, demanding flexibility and well-being benefits. Without it, they have no problem quitting for a job that offers what they're looking for. Okay? A new generation of workers is in town, baby. Gen Z is now the youngest of the workplace, and as every new generation is willing to, they're shaking things up, shaking it up. For Gen Z, a good working environment is what matters most. A job that's meaningful at a company that makes a difference, aligns with their social views, and offers mental health support. They're demanding all these things in a new, bold fashion, okay? The quest for a workplace that respects boundaries and needs is baked in generationally. That will not change with each new generation. This will get stronger, okay? Says Laura Stiller-Ricklin. If their job doesn't fulfill those needs, they have no qualms about quitting for a better one. It's why Gen Z is helping to lead the Great Resignation alongside millennials. But many are also experiencing shift shock after starting their new job. Shift shock. Okay, this is shift shock. Noun, the realization that a new job is not what one thought it would be. Shift shock. Stick that in your Urban Dictionary and smoke it. Shift shock. Travis, can you come here a sec? I had an electrical problem in my car and I went to change gears, and I suffered from shift shock.
I like that you worked backwards from that one. You're like, okay, punchline, down. All right, premise, here we go.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you. Hudsonizer, one more pun that will prevent me from reaching my true potential. Meet the typical Gen Z worker, smoking weed and doing astrology, taking edibles, doing astrology, tattoos, high fives, all around. By asserting new norms in the workplace, Gen Z is eschewing the ones that implemented by millennials before them. Simon says, am I the only one who wants Travis to drop a major zinger and then drop that mic? Travis, Simon has put in a request for you.
You don't actually want me to drop this microphone. It does not sound good. It does not. Nobody wants that.
Smack the top of it a little bit. Okay. Thank you. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Grass Puddle saying this sounds like business propaganda. Yeah, we warned you. They're demanding a better work-life balance, and it's scaring millennials. Managers report. The New York Times reported, young 20-somethings are delegating to their boss, asking for mental health days, and setting their own hours. Goldberg wrote. Slow up, a purposeful shift, slowing down productivity with the aim of better work-life balance. The pandemic has made many burned out and overworked Americans. The pandemic has made many burned out and overworked Americans question their work lives. Gen Z, along with younger millennials, are acting as the voice of these grievances online. I'm overworked. It's true. People are overworked. What can we do about it? I mean, maybe we need to be asking the question about late-stage capitalism. The system needs your sweat. On TikTok, they're calling out capitalism for its role in taking on their mental health. Yep. On Reddit, they're bolstering the anti-work movement, which embraces work-free lifestyle. That's not bad. Travis, so what do we do? What do we do, Travis? How do you live a work-free lifestyle without like a trust fund? Like, hashtag van life, hashtag dumpster diving.
There's, I think what we're in now is a period of pendulum swinging where we have been pushed so far to the extreme. The natural reaction is for the pendulum to swing to, at least ideologically, the other side of the extreme. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened, and there's not always been something akin to that. But that's where you see people, younger millennials and Gen Zers, actually looking into and discussing the tenets of what makes communism function when it has versus what makes capitalism function when it has, and how they compare against one another. And largely just, I think, a burnout from the expectation of labor without what we're realizing now is proper whole compensation, not just financially, but you as a person. Because the millennial generation, I think, was forced to pool their well-being and their work together. And it has gotten old.
Good stuff. Care to do a mic drop on that? That's not a mic drop. That's not a mic drop.
It's not my desk.
That's just tickling. That's just like tickling.
Here, I'll drop it on my leg. It's going to fall. I don't have a stand.
Drop it on your lap. Oh, there you go. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of. Simon,
All right.
hope you like that.
Hope that works.
Grass Puddle said the only thing Travis dropped was the ball. Dang. Kyle Harlow said that joke about shifting your car was clutch. All right, so I think we get the gist here. Travis, do you think we've got enough of the gist of this article? If yes, get rid of the article. I live in a society where my productivity matters more than my well-being, so I'm just depressed and anxious all the time. I'm smiling, but I'm deeply wounded. I work 3 jobs and I still feel like I'm not doing enough. Yeah, that real talk. That's real talk. And, you know, you got to go in with a good attitude, good customer service. I like good customer service. But sometimes it's not, sometimes you just don't have the wherewithal. You're not given you don't have the return. There's only so much I can give. So anything else that catches your eye here, Travis, on this?
It's stuff we've talked about before. They're
Yeah.
really laying out the idea that Gen Z is a generation that went through a very troubling time, the pandemic, during a very impressionable time in their lives, and the way that culture is shaping up for them, at least in this country, they're caring less and less about individual success and salary, and more about what they can do to help the world at large. Which, like, hey, that's great. It feels kind of like a new '60s approach in some regards, and it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out in the face of the most corporate time in our nation, maybe.
It's true.
Yeah.
Pretty corporate.
Yeah. And especially the way that we have corporatized normal life, everyday living, and the way that we have culture at our workforce and stuff like that. Like, the delineation between work and life is much different, it feels like, than it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Travis. Last trending topic. Mona Lisa, men have creamed you? The Mona Lisa got creamed! Travis, did you hear this? The Mona Lisa's under attack.
Creamed? What do you mean creamed? What? Oh.
Yeah. Creamed. Someone creamed the Mona Lisa.
Like
Mona
they have
Lisa,
the emojis.
The cake, yeah. Cake lady world. What? This is, you know what? I don't know whose side I'm on here. You know what? Don't deface art. But let me read this. Mona Lisa smeared in cream by suspected climate change protester disguised as old woman.
Love that part.
A man, seemingly disguised as an old woman in a wheelchair, threw a piece of cake at the glass protecting Mona Lisa at the Louvre Museum and shouted at people to think of planet Earth. Wow. Mona Lisa, men have caked you.
Okay.
A thread. The Mona Lisa was smeared in cream. By a suspected climate change protester disguised as an old woman. Simon says, now that's what I call a smear campaign. Grass puddle like that one. The Mona Lisa was left shaken but unharmed when a visitor to the Louvre tried to smash the glass protecting the world's most famous painting before smearing cream across its surface in an apparent climate change-related publicity stunt. You want to scroll there? Scroll the heck out of there. The perpetrator was a man disguised as an old lady who jumped out of a wheelchair before attacking the glass on Sunday. Maybe this is just nuts to me, posted the author of a Twitter video of the incident's aftermath that shows the Louvre staffer cleaning the glass. Simon says, I'm sure the last thing going through her head was cake. Oh yeah, there it is. Louvre staffer cleaning the glass. These jokes are so bad they're not even good enough to be dad jokes. Speak for yourself, Simon. Think of the earth. People destroying the earth, the man dressed in a wig said in French. Pensez le monde! Pensez le monde! another video posting showing him being led away by the Paris gallery. Hey, Travis, can you do me a favor? See if you can find a picture of this guy. I want to see how good his Let Them Eat Cake, Good Grass Puddle, that came from Marie Antoinette, Francais. They can't touch my Mona Lisa NFT. Kyle Harlow, watch out. They might pull a Seth Green on you. Simon, could you find a picture of this guy?
Hmm?
Can you find a picture of this guy?
Oh, I'm not Simon.
Or Travis. Jesus. Travis.
That's all right. That's all right. That was rude. I shouldn't have called you out.
No, you should. I'm like, I do that all the time.
So does my grandmother. Between me and my cousins.
God. Oh my goodness.
She goes, Steven, Austin, whatever your name is.
Thoughts and prayers, Seth Green.
Thoughts and prayers, Seth Green. Let's see. I wonder if this has the video of it happening.
Simon,
this is some Monty
you're
Python
selling yourself
stuff.
short. You're selling yourself short on those on your jokes. And jokes, it's a winning percent. Yeah, just like, okay. So there's the guy cleaning the cream off Mona Lisa.
It just sounds bad. Nothing I can see of the protester.
I would
clean
Google
the cream off Mona Lisa, if you know what I mean.
Google it.
I'm Googling it. I'm literally Googling it. And I'm doing this with one hand because I pulled this microphone so I forgot my mic stand.
Also, if you want to Snopes it.
All right.
I'm trying to get a picture. We're trying to get visual. Man in wig. Please.
Please have this be the one.
Please let there be a... So far nothing. I'm gonna search this too. Let's see if
just a picture of the creamed Lisa.
Mona Lisa, men have creamed you. Oh, here he is.
Oh, you found it?
Yes.
Shoot the link to me in the thingy.
I think we've found something out.
What's that?
I'm better at Googling than you are. True or false, Travis?
How could I refute that? This has to be true. Categorically. Wow. This is like a Whitest Kids You Know sketch. This is great. I am thrilled by this. Oh man. Okay.
All right. So I found visual of the guy who was dressed as a quote unquote old lady in a wheelchair. There he is, with a scarf and a long hair wig.
They thought this was an old lady.
He just looks like a young dude.
Yeah.
A young dude with like... Who does that look
helping?
like?
Oh,
with the Johnny... He's got the Johnny Depp scarf.
Yeah.
Right?
Patented.
That's definitely a scarf from the Johnny Depp collection.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wearing a ball cap.
Cool.
Yeah, like... Dude just looks like he's chilling in wherever,
Yeah.
Got a shirt. Is that a button down or a t-shirt with a nice print
just
on the
t-shirt.
front?
Yeah, just t-shirt.
Yeah. Any other pictures? You want to scroll down? Guy looks a lot like Tim Burton, says Simon.
Hey, look, there's the pie. That was a full-on like clown cream pie. That was like she got pied. Yeah, no.
Are you sure? Go online here and search cream pie.
No, I refuse. I will not fall for this. I'm not going to lose. I'm not falling for that again. Here's a bit of info.
Says, "Is it kosher to wear white pants with a white T-shirt?" Not after Labor Day. Kyle Harlow says, "Travis, just show Hal a picture of Mrs. Doubtfire. You won't know."
There's a breakdown here of what.
Oh, hello! That's why Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello!
Their profile of the attack itself is as interesting as anything we've seen.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. The shocking moment occurred moments before the Louvre was set to close on Sunday night. Witnesses say a man disguised as an elderly woman wearing a wig rolled past the 519-year-old painting before darting to his feet and launching a cake at Leonardo da Vinci's famous masterpiece. Witnesses say the man then tried to smash the bulletproof glass protecting the portrait to no avail before smearing icing all over it instead. He then threw roses everywhere before security tackled him.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder if he's in jail now. Probably. It seems like a jail thing. What would that be? That's vandalism, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Is it different that it's like is Mona Lisa like protected by the government? Like where does that fall? Like who's responsible for that?
I don't know.
Yeah, we can ask Rob later.
Well, there you go. There you have it.
That's what happened.
Simon says, did he pull up in a clown car, or he was the only one to get out? Yeah, maybe he should have had his own seltzer bottle to clean it off. Thank you, Travis. Let's shift gears here. It's about to be 12:30. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out right here on the Your Pal Hal Show. I am Hal Rudnick. This is Backchannel. We are live. Join the chat, please. Talk to your smart device. It rhymes with T-Rexa. And use the magic word say and drop in anything after that. Time for our Twitter deep dive. And last week, we talked about, we did a Twitter deep dive into the Twitter account from White Claw. The bubbly beverage. That has got a little bit of alcohol to it. Simon, not a fan of White Claw. But I got a letter. I got another letter. Dear Hal, you're not my pal. How dare you talk about White Claw, whereas wouldn't even be a White Claw without the ones who started the bubbly drink trend. I'm talking the fine folks at LaCroix. We are furious with you. Before there were these alcoholic bubbly drinks, there was the one bubbly drink to rule them all. LaCroix. Speak of us or never speak again. Oh my goodness. That sounded like a veiled threat at the end there. A not so veiled threat. So here we are. The official Twitter account of LaCroix Sparkling Water, Insta LaCroix Water, Facebook LaCroix Water, Snapchat LaCroix Water. I mean, LaCroix really did kind of light the fuse as far as this trend. One might say, LaCroix walked so White Claw could run? One might say, one could say such a thing. All right. 34,000 followers. Travis, are you a LaCroix enthusiast at all?
Heck yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like a little LaCroix now and again. For sure. Also, like, I found LaCroix to be a good mixer, especially with, like, this is going to sound stupid, but I like to mix LaCroix with beer.
Oh, right on.
And it just, like, let's say, you want to keep going, but you don't want to go as hard. Take like half a light beer and half a LaCroix, and like you've made your own like weird White Claw.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a little less alcohol. It's very easy. It's very easy peasy. Very easy going. LaCroix is perfect for gin. Oh, for gin. Simon, very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable when it comes to. I wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't realize what would be good or not with gin. So nicely done there, Simon. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these tweets from LaCroix. Travis. Matching the Raz can. Yes, please. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Very nice. Enjoy. Warning. Savory summer sips ahead. Ooh, baby. Saturday vibe check. Oh, yes, indeed. Vibing with LaCroix. Keep it going. POV, it's Friday night and you're treating yourself. Sure. I mean, why not? I don't know. I mean, it's a nice treat. It's a nice treat, nice bubbly treat. Oh, a little baby LaCroix. Your little one deserves some LaCroix merch too. All right. Nah, do they? Nah. Murray Pepino onesie. Sun-kissed sips to get you through the rest of the week. Yay! This is, you know what, Travis? I'm finding this feed from LaCroix a little too self-serious, a little too cloying, a little too trying to be gram-worthy.
Yeah.
A little, it's like, oh, LaCroix, do it for the gram. Pretty girls, good-looking, trendy people, LaCroix. And it's like, I like the drink. Not gonna lie, I like it. We often have LaCroix in the house. Not feeling this Twitter account. What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, it's kind of weak.
Yeah, I think we've seen all we need to see.
It's all fluff, no stuff.
By the way, Ahana in California here. Happy Memorial Day, Ahana. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you, Ahana. Stacy says, yuck. Stacy's not feeling LaCroix. All right, no worries, Stacy. Appreciate that. Yeah, bye, LaCroix. Just, see you, Simon. Always a pleasure. All right. Travis, what do you say we dive into a little bit of weekend box office? Oh, yeah. We've got a new leader at the top of the box office receipts. Do you know who it is? You probably do. All right. Here are your weekend box office results. Number 5, the animated film hanging in there, The Bad Guys. Number 4, Downton Abbey, A New Era. So The Bad Guys clocked in at 4.6 million. Downton Abbey, A New Era, $5.9 million. We had a debut this weekend. The Bob's Burgers movie. The Bob's Burgers movie. $12.6 million. 12.6. Not bad, because there's a lot of heavy competition this weekend. Bob's Burgers, a beloved show. Number 2, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That means we will have a new winner atop the weekend box office. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Let's take a look at the so Doctor Strange, $16.4 million this weekend. They're closing in on $1 billion worldwide. $375 million, $473,979 domestically. International, $497,900,000. $497,900,000, and worldwide $873,373,979 for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I know my guy S. Friedman enjoys this flick. I really liked it too. I liked it a lot. Doctor Strange was fun. Doctor Strange was good times. All the action felt earned. It was a good time. And then the number 1 movie, flying into the top spot, Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick, $124 million. Grand total, $151 million. Internationally, $109,568,688. $260,568,688 worldwide. There you go. I wonder, internationally, I mean, Tom Cruise's big box office, I guess. And I wonder, are people into this story as much? Or will people be into this story as much? Because it's a patently American story. So something to think about there. Grass Puddle watched Bob's Burgers. What did you think? So there you have it. Now it's Memorial Day. Honoring those who have fallen. Those who lost their lives. So, in celebration of Memorial Day, we've got a list here of the best war movies to watch for Memorial Day weekend. Grass Puddle says, I enjoyed Bob's Burgers. Pretty good if you're a Bob's Burgers fan. Nice. I'm a fan of the show. Not a diehard, but I definitely enjoy it. All right, 15 best Memorial Day movies to watch this weekend. If you want to, really get in the spirit, some war movies. They've been making war movies since forever. Let's see what they got on this list. Again, these lists, we've had our issues with these types of lists before. Really being like, hold up, what is happening? What is this list? So let's see. All right, let's scroll. See what we got. All right, there's a montage of pictures, collage. All right. First up, Black Hawk Down. There's Josh Hartnett, I believe. And Black Hawk Down. Here, let's read what it says here. From Ridley Scott, was heaped with praise and 2 Academy Awards, Best Film Editing, Best Sound, and still remains a solid, gripping look at soldiers caught in a seemingly impossible situation, detailing the U.S. military's 1993 raid in Mogadishu, which shifted from what was supposed to be a quick mission into an overnight standoff and rescue operation. An amazing cast. including Josh Hartnett, Ewan McGregor, Eric Bana, Tom Sizemore, William Fichtner, Sam Shepard, Jeremy Piven, Tom Hardy in his first role. Wow. And even more, like this is filled with, you'll be like, oh, that guy and that guy. Like, yeah, strong cast. Powerful movie. Glory. Denzel Washington's first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Came in Glory. If you want to scroll, let's read a quick snippet about this. Edward Zwick's historical Civil War drama Glory stars Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Matthew Broderick in the story of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, which was one of the Union Army's earliest African-American regiments. Nominated for 5 Academy Awards, winning 3, including one for Denzel. Glory is a moving, powerful film that will take your breath away. Next up, Courage Under Fire. This was Meg Ryan, and this is about the first Iraq War in the 90s. I'm going to scroll down. Denzel Washington reunited with Glory director Edward Zwick for a very different war, very different tale of bravery with Courage Under Fire, utilizing a Rashomon-style format. Film follows Lieutenant Colonel Washington back home from the Gulf War after a friendly fire incident. Yeah, this is... Grass Puddle says, so far, 3 good movies. I agree. This movie is interesting because it's not the completely rah-rah, jingoistic, like, America can do no wrong kind of film. It's a little bit more of an even-handed look at war. Saving Private Ryan, great Spielberg. Tom Hanks. Let's scroll down a little bit there. Tom Sizemore again. Tom Sizemore, great actor. He got into some issues. Yeah, this is another good movie. So far, this list is pretty strong. Tom Hanks goes on a journey to find Private Ryan because they have this rule in the military. If like your brothers die, like if you're enlisted with siblings and your siblings die, they have to get you off the battlefield. It's an unusual, but makes sense. There was I think there was a family in World War II called the Sullivans, and they lost all their sons. There was like several brothers that died on the battlefield or in naval operations. Great cast. Tom Hanks, Tom Sizemore, Ed Burns, Barry Pepper, Giovanni Ribisi, Matt Damon, Adam Goldberg, Jeremy Davies. Good stuff. The next film this came out around the same time as Saving Private Ryan. I think Saving Private Ryan got most of the headlines, but this is a really amazing film. The Thin Red Line. Thin Red Line is like a meditation, like a poem about war. There's Jesus Christ himself, Jim Caviezel. The same year Saving Private Ryan was released came another very different World War II film, The Thin Red Line, which was director Terrence Malick's first feature in 20 years, focusing on a different arena of the war, the Pacific Theater, and operating in a true Malick style, like a profound war poem. The Thin Red Line was also a contender at the Academy Awards, finding itself nominated in 7 categories. Sean Penn, Jim Caviezel, Nick Nolte, Ilias Koteas, Ben Chaplin star in this mesmerizing meditation on life, death, as well as other famous faces like John Cusack, Woody Harrelson, Jared Leto, John C. Reilly, John Travolta in smaller roles. Yeah, Thin Red Line, beautiful film. This is a very good list so far. Really liking this list. Paths of Glory. Like we've had some great directors on this list. Ridley Scott, Steven Spielberg, among others, Terrence Malick, and now Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick. Let's scroll up, please. There's Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas stars as commanding officer in World War I who attempts to defend his soldiers after they refuse to embark on a suicide mission in this early gem from Stanley Kubrick. Based on the novel Humphrey Cobb, Paths of Glory, by Humphrey Cobb, Paths of Glory, is a thought-provoking tale about the horrors of war and the detached inhumanity that can be exhibited from those in charge. It's gloriously shot and expertly acted. There you go. Next up, Jeremy Renner. This really launched Jeremy Renner, this film. The Hurt Locker. Catherine Bigelow. Best Picture. And again, another film that deals with some of the horrors of war because this guy is a bomb disposal expert. Anthony Mackie, pre-Falcon. Best Picture winner. Catherine Bigelow, first woman to win the Academy Award for Best Director for this. I think in retrospect, like people were like hating on Hurt Locker a little bit, but it's a tight film. It's a tight film. Like just well executed. It's not jaw-droppingly amazing, but it's really a well done film. Oh, one more. This list is shaping up well after so many disappointments. Platoon, Oliver Stone's just dark exploration. Willem Dafoe as like a soldier with a good heart. You had a young Charlie Sheen at the height of his powers. And Tom Berenger. Oh, Tom Berenger is just really dark and sinister in this film. This film really is indicative. It really depicts in a strong way, the horrors of war. Powerful. Platoon is amazing. Much of it autobiographical. From Oliver Stone's real life. All right, let's keep scrolling, please. Thank you, Travis. Travis, want to come on in for a sec? Have you seen any of these films that we're talking about?
Hurt Locker, Black Hawk Down, Platoon, I'm sure, in the scheme of things, but I think that might be it.
Now, American Sniper, directed by Clint Eastwood. I haven't seen it. This seems
I did see this.
I heard Bradley Cooper's really good. I heard the film's well done, but I heard this does not tell the full story about the guy.
No.
He's a controversial figure, the guy that this film's about. And also, a lot of people make fun of the fact that they used a fake baby in one scene. They're using a plastic doll.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty much. I remember that.
Clint Eastwood directed Bradley Cooper in this vivid, sorrowful account of the deadliest marksman in U.S. military history. Platoon is a major league prequel. Sheen and Berenger fought together in Vietnam before playing for Cleveland. Kyle Harlow, thank you for tying the world together. Appreciate you. Big Red One is the next film. I haven't seen this. I don't know it. I thought that was about Clifford, right? The big red
big
dog?
Red Dog, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Big Red One stars Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin's amazing. Let me recommend, this is more of a fun military caper movie, but if you've not seen the 1960s film The Dirty Dozen, ooh, baby. Wow. So good. The Dirty Dozen. Grass Puddle saying Annette. Oh, yeah. The fake baby, like the one. Well, the one in Annette was just like, that was a stylistic escapade. The one in American Sniper, Clint Eastwood was like, yeah, they're not going to notice. They'll never notice. They'll never. Oh, it's like that. It's like that meme, that soundbite where like, they're never gonna know. They're not gonna know. They're gonna know. They're never gonna know. Yeah, people knew. People found out. So the red one, big red one, The Outpost. I don't know this one. Let's scroll up. Oh, post Star Wars Mark Hamill in that film. The Outpost. I'm not familiar. I want to scroll to the description. On Netflix and rentable. Outpost from director Rod Lurie. The Last Castle, Straw Dogs. Based on journalist Jake Tapper's nonfiction book, The Outpost, Untold Story of American Valor, filmed months leading up to the Battle of Kamdesh, Afghanistan. Scott Eastwood, Caleb Landry Jones, Orlando Bloom. Huh, interesting. Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor, you know what? Mark Wahlberg. Lone Survivor's really well done. Powerful story. But again, it does dehumanize the enemy, and there's a lot that's just super rah America. Then again, yeah, what do you want? It's you're making a war movie for a certain audience. It's complicated stuff. But a real kind of a interesting, funny story. My friend of mine, critic Amy Nicholson, gave a so-so review to Lone Survivor, and then she got called out by Glenn Beck and got so much hate for quote unquote hating America simply for recognizing there's gray area in war, not celebrating the American war effort. So it's complicated. It's complicated stuff. So Lone Survivor. I want to scroll up there, Travis. Let's just see what else is on the list. Let's finish this list real quick before we bring in our friend Mario Smith. Gallipoli. It's an older film. Flags of Our Fathers, Letters from Iwo Jima. This is an interesting journey, these two films about World War II from Clint Eastwood. Let's keep scrolling. There it is. So one thing I would say about this list, it was lacking in classic Hollywood cinema. There's so many great films, war movies, Tora Tora Tora, The Best Years of Our Lives, Bridge Over the River Kwai. I mean, that go back to the golden era of Hollywood. Let's bring in your friend and mine, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, no Mario Smith?
No, right. It was just us and Anthony today.
Taking a day off. I like it. Yeah. Mario, I love you, sir. Enjoy. Everybody, thank you, Patton. Grass Puddle says Patton. Yes, nicely done. Full Metal Jacket. Intense film. Folks, I want to thank you for taking the time to hang out right here on the Your Pal Hal Show. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. in Texas, Omaha, Nebraska, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Thank you, everybody who hung out, who chatted today. Too much fun. Flew by. Thank you, everybody at Backchannel. Thank you, producer Travis, for holding it down. And now, the final segment of the show, the rejected segment, is Hal wipes the glass to clean off Mona Lisa. Hal wipes the glass to clean up Mona Lisa. All right. Oh, who would do this? Who would cream Mona Lisa like this? Oh, whoa, my footing. Oh, no, it fell. Oh, Mona Lisa fell on the floor. I know, I'm sorry, ma'am. Oh, no, I feel so bad. My tummy. Okay. And it would have gone on and on. Grass Puddle says we left out the great war movie, Independence Day. Welcome to Earth. Thanks, everybody. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day. Enjoy some barbecue. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.